Okay. I think we're good. Maybe. Okay. Cam on. I think. Well, YouTube's not showing me, but they're on kind of a delay. Anyway, hopefully this is welcome to the stream. Good morning, Grace type situation. Been a minute. There we go. All right, I think we're like officially back. I was like wondering if I was actually gonna be able to go live. All right, so we're back. What's up, King? So yeah, so I'm working on getting everything back up. I just have to do it like more intentionally than I did before, so that we don't have like another foot girl type situation. But most everything will be back up again. Plus, I've got some new shit, so I don't know. It'll take me a minute to get Thorpe Alert. I gotta insulate Thorpe Alert a little bit, but it'll be back. All right. So anyway, I'm ready just to chill and watch some Memphis wrestling. I've been waiting to see this show because it's got Uncle Elmer and Jerry Lawler in a tag team together, which I'm like super excited about. All right, well, let's get started. Been dying to watch. I was almost reduced myself to watching it off stream, but then I was like, no, that's not. I can't go that way.
Russell and Dave Brown, we're right along ringside in Son of a Gun. We're ready to go. I was looking at an absolutely big, full show today, David.
You are right. We're going to be telling everybody about the tournament winners, the tag team that gets to represent the area over in Japan
Yes, sir.
a little bit later on. And also, we'll introduce you to the fabulous Fargo.
You doing some painting today?
Not Jackie.
Oh, like, are you doing like contractor painting, or are you like Bob Ross painting?
Another Fargo.
Matter of fact, that'll be an interesting story. I want to hear that one, too.
Word about the Dundee Landell split. In addition to that, lots of action right here in the ring.
Boy, I got to tell you, we got it all, including an 8-man tag match. We're going to be back. We'll have more of it. Right now, we better get started. Take time out. We'll be back in just a moment. Be ready to go here in the opening. Boy, what a dandy of an opener. We got the giant hillbilly, Mr. Plowboy, going in there with...
Oh, wow, we don't have to wait at all. We're getting Uncle Elmer right off the bat in a dandy of an opening match.
King is our opening tag team. Hey, I guess what the big news is, and I'm sorry that I missed that son of a gun, it was something else, though, the big elimination for the Japanese Gold Cup, World Gold Cup, that's going to be worth $100,000 to the winner.
Yeah, it was quite a night, and one of the folks representing this area is going to be returning to Japan, right?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, that's right. The winners of that tournament, of course, Jerry the King Lawler and the Giant.
What's up, Vibe Tribe? Dude, I was losing it last night, dude. Thick Gemini was going off the deep end. I can't believe he turned the whole show into the Shawnee show.
At Hillbilly, they are the winners. I mean, Austin Idol. I got the...
He was like, why don't y'all just go over with Mark and Grace and goon with them for a while?
Hey, let's go back and do that again. The winners of the tournament, Jerry the King Lawler and the Universal Heartthrob Austin Idol. So they'll be the ones that'll be touring over to Japan. And
should be good representatives.
Hey, listen, you mentioned a little bit earlier that we've got some information on the split. Boy, something I never believed would happen. Go on and come back and find out that Bill Dundee and Buddy Landell, bing, have gone their separate ways.
That's a pretty big development, right? Buddy Landell and Bill Dundee have been kind of like a standard for months now.
We're going to have more on that. We'll have a little tape on it, too. Right now, we're ready for action in the ring, and we're getting ready to go with the tag team action.
I'm trying to get Grace to bring him on her show. I think he'd be funny, especially since he got kicked off of Queens. They wouldn't even let him do like a, they wouldn't even let him do a call-in.
Of Lawler and the Giant.
Lawler and Giant Hillbilly versus Eric and the Patriot. Sounds like dueling podcasts.
Giant Hillbilly and Keith Eric and the Patriot. Oh, you recognize the music. Now you recognize the men. Yo! Plowboy, the big Giant Hillbilly, hopping up there ready for the introductions, baby.
All right, it's going to be one fall, 15-minute time limit match. Referee Jerry Calhoun looking over the situation and about ready to call for the bell.
Okay, bell time.
There we go.
Oh, that is not the Patriot.
That is, no. I don't know what
Brand new face.
he goes by. Brand new face here.
Yes, sir. He's got that...
This is kind of an interesting way to use like obviously Uncle Elmer, Plowboy Frazier, the Giant Hillbilly is, you probably don't want to like put your title on him, and he's not going to be able to have like great, like I don't know that he's going to be a long-term draw, but like, I think it's, I like how they're using him because it's like, they're basically just telling you like, hey, this is something that's going to happen for a limited time. So we're going to make some cool like matches with it. What's up, Backwoods Squanch? Well, I got messed up last week after the Foot Girl copyright struck me. I couldn't go live for a while, and Grace intervened on my behalf, so I'm back up and running. But I really wanted to see this. I really wanted to see Lawler and Plowboy team up.
Okay, Easy Rider.
Easy
Thank you,
Rider.
Eddie.
All right. Yeah. Easy Rider.
Scratch, and Easy Rider. He doesn't
I also didn't want to have to cut a Savvy Guy type promo on Foot Girl.
have an easy task, I can tell you that right now.
Boy, you're right.
With Keith Eric as a partner, they're going against the King and the big...
Yeah, Lawler and Giant Hillbilly. It does sound like a weird podcast.
Giant Hillbilly, a very large plowboy.
Very large Plowboy.
He stepped through there, all 420 pounds of him going after Keith Eric.
420. All right.
Eric made a good move. He got out of there.
Yeah. That may be the smartest thing he's done.
Keith weighs in at about 2.
I forgot I switched OBS over to Twitch for the time I couldn't stream here, and then so I went live on Twitch like randomly for no reason, and then realized that wasn't on YouTube.
203, 205, something like that, and Hillbilly weighs more than twice as much as he does. Eric, ooh, he's going to regret that. He hit Lawler with a fist. Lawler came back with a right hand. Ooh, into the Hillbilly over in the corner.
We had the worst possible view for that. We can see. Thanks a lot, referee.
The Giant Hillbilly kind of shoved him back in the ring with his belly.
Yeah, that's a stone wall that hits back when he fired him over there and whipped him into the Giant Hillbilly. Coming out now, our first look at the Easy Rider, and he is tentatively approaching the King.
The Easy Rider.
But he drove hard once he locked up with that collar and elbow on him. Easy Rider.
Oh my gosh, look at this haircut.
They're climbing all over him in the corner. Not a good idea, as Dave already mentioned. With
He looked like a Damian Demento or something. Hey, what's up, JF? His ring gear to Billy Jack Haynes garage sale, totally. What's up, Avery?
Keith Eric, Giant Hillbilly from behind, hooks him, and Lawler tags him.
Did I say that he looked like Damian Demento? I couldn't remember. But that haircut's, it's really not weird because Animal had a similar hair color, and he was kind of a haircut, but he was like a pretty big star. But I feel like this guy looks more like a Damian Demento than Animal.
Him a couple of times.
Big right hand.
Or like Animal before the steroids.
Keith Eric back in there to do battle with Lawler.
Sorry.
King and the Universal Heartthrob, the winners of that elimination tournament for the Southern region. Representatives to go to Japan for the Japanese World Gold Cup Tag Tournament. And look at the giant Hillbilly get it on.
Ooh, he nailed him with a right hand. Keith Eric finds himself up in the air and body slam.
I didn't either, but it's not surprising, I guess, since he never really stayed in WWF for like a long, long time. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting, especially because he's being I mean, he's a big draw to the fans. They're really like excited to see him. Whereas when I was a kid, I hated it because Uncle Elmer was just garbage. I didn't like the way he looked. I didn't like anything about him. But seeing him here, it's like he's interesting because he's in like an environment. He's like, it's matchups I haven't seen, and like, you know, it's a different vibe. He fits in a lot better here because it's like the pacing and the style is different.
Hillbilly just stepped on him once for good measure.
Well, to me, he fits in better here. I always thought he was kind of out of place in WWF.
Over to the corner and the tag on the King. These two were tag team partners long time ago.
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
In that big spectacle wedding, like everything, all that crazy shit happened. Jesse Ventura always had great commentary about the Hillbillies.
Go back a long way. As a matter of fact,
Hey, what's up, Ed?
Lawler was the one that first discovered him down in Mississippi.
That's right.
Yeah, she took the strike down. Grace bailed me out.
Keith Eric backing up close to his corner. He makes the tag, and the Easy Rider will be coming back in.
Can't believe it about that Dundee Landell split, though, Dave.
Oh,
good.
Yeah.
Nice. And we've got some tape to show you on that.
Sorry, I had to sneeze. Yeah, Grace, I think, kind of put in the work and got the strike lifted.
Easy Rider on his back, and Lawler with the elbow.
Referee is saying, hey, was that the point of the elbow? And Lawler said, no, upper arm. And the crowd says, he's right, referee. It was the upper arm.
Well, yeah, I mean, definitely, because she didn't have to help me, and she's doing IRL content, I think, with Foot Girl, so like putting her, you know, risking a potential conflict with somebody like that's nice of her to do.
Arm. The clothesline by Lawler. Easy Rider not having a very good day so far. Lawler picks him up, suplex, drops him down to the mat.
Rattled him with that right fist. And hammers the head into the turnbuckle.
Keith Eric.
You think Cody Rowe? I mean, that's certainly an opinion. It's difficult. Like, what's a good wrestler to one person isn't to another. It's just like so subjective.
Back in. I'd like to know who Easy Rider's barber is. Make sure I don't ever go there.
Really? Whoa, Eric.
I think he should grow a rat tail like Sting had.
Very good forearm shots to the midsection, and now back to the head with a right fist.
Cody is no Bob Backlund could be taken in like 100 million. That's a really good phrase, because even if you're a Cody Rhodes fan, like, how do you process that? How are you, like, you could take it in like 50 million different ways. I am not a fan of Bob Backlund in the old run when like he was the WWF champ, like or WWF champ, whatever it was. I thought that was pretty terrible, even though the matches were like okay if you watch the arena shows, but I didn't really, it's not for me. But I loved his heel run when he was like nutty. And I love the fact that he makes people recite all of the presidents in order if they want like an autograph.
Eric really working on the King back in the corner, but I don't know, Keith may feel like that's the only way he's going to get anywhere in this match, but I'll tell you where he's going to get. He's going to get on the mat with a count of 3 falling all around him if he doesn't watch it.
Thank God he's no Backlund. Yeah, like his in-ring, I think, is vastly superior. Even though Bob Backlund is a legit wrestler, like I think Cody Rhodes is more entertaining to watch than Bob Backlund. But I think that Bob Backlund in that crazy psycho heel is a better character than Cody Rhodes. Remember when he lost to remember when he lost to Diesel in like 10 seconds? He lost the world title to Diesel in like such a short match. And I think it was even on a house show. I could be wrong though. Imagine you're at a house show and the world championship changes hands in like a under a minute match or something. That's nuts.
Eric into the turnbuckle. That's that Mississippi splash.
I saw Black Bart passed away. See, that's something we could do on Twitch. There's a Black Bart shoot interview, but I haven't seen it. But I know we'd have the stream interrupted here, but I think on Twitch we could probably watch it.
Smash by the Giant Hillbilly. He drops down with a leg.
Going to be it.
He's no way he's going to get out of that.
I watch like some off and on, but I kind of keep up because it comes up in like my my YouTube feed and stuff. So I kind of keep up on it, but I don't watch any of it like religiously or anything.
4 minutes, 53 seconds. The Mississippi Splash gets the win for the Giant Hillbilly and the King, Jerry Lawler.
Gosh, man, don't give people too much. What, like 10? He gave like 10 little seconds of dancing.
All right, little victory dance there.
What do I think about AEW? I haven't seen enough of it to know like too much about it, other than like hearing about it on podcasts and stuff. But I mean, they've got a bunch of good guys. But I mean, it's wrestling. Like different styles are going to appeal to different people. I like some of the people on there. I love. Well, I guess they're not there anymore, but. Or maybe one of them is. There was like some controversy. I really like the Lucha Brothers. I thought they were really good.
The Hillbilly. Time out at 4:53.
And a good one, too. We got more action. Take time out right now. Be back in just a moment.
Man, how many times are we going to see this leg drop?
Oh, yeah, I think you...
I mean, he's a goon as a character on the show. I don't know what he's like in real life. I mean, it was pretty nerdy wearing the neck brace to the to the NFL. I know he was trying to like pay tribute, but like you can't force stuff like that. Like it's got to be like there has to be some organic like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. It's just kind of like J.D. Costello was at the beginning of his run here, where it was kind of like you could tell he was like acting instead of like, you know, being the character.
You probably know by now. If you don't, let me tell you. Coming Wednesday night, Evansville Coliseum, the grudge battle of the year, Bill Dundee, Buddy Landell. It'll be happening right there in Evansville Coliseum. Also a Southern Tag Team Championship match where the Mod Squad goes against the team of Jerry the King Lawler and the Giant Hillbilly. And we'll cover the special stipulations on that in just a moment. 6 big matches coming up Wednesday night, Evansville Coliseum. And, brother, I can't wait. Jerry, special howdy there. The big Giant Hillbilly. Man, you got your big partner this time.
I guarantee you this is all I need. You know, this must be my lucky day. I'm tickled to death about Wednesday night. I don't know how to thank the promotion enough for this kind of a match. Not only...
The Lucha Brothers were... I didn't see a lot of their AEW stuff, to be fair. I don't remember where I saw them at. But I thought especially Penta was really creative. I like the way he looks too. I like his ring gear. Used to watch Memphis Wrestling every Sunday. That's awesome. I live in the Midwest, so I only got like basically WWF around this time, and even then it was like, you know, the I guess Superstars was a good show, and in retrospect I kind of remember it like it was like a clip show, but it was a pretty good show. They had a lot of storylines and stuff on there. What about CM Punk? He's okay. I saw CM Punk all the time back in the like 2004 to 2006 when he was in IWA and Ring of Honor. I saw a bunch of those shows live. And like I think he was better back then, but I mean, I don't think he's the like triple A guy that people make him out to be, but I think he's like a double A guy. Does that make sense? I think he's good, but I don't think he's like as good as like the best.
When we beat those jerks, we get those nice, shiny tag team championship belts to put around our waist.
Wait a minute. That thing won't fit me. I'm going to have to add a little leather.
Okay. You just put it over your shoulder if you want to, but it'll...
No, I only got 4 channels when I was a kid. There was ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox. And then every once in a while there would be like a weird, like, this is a long time ago, but it's like UHF basically. Like if you flipped over to the other thing, you could like sometimes get a channel that had stuff, but none of them carried AWA. It was just like syndicated wrestling, which, like I said, Superstars. I didn't get to see like primetime wrestling, which I think to me is like the showcase show. But I did get to see Superstars. I think Wrestling Challenge was on every once in a while. Yeah, Punk's a great promo guy, but yeah, I think his in-ring is just, whatever. But I mean, he's older, so it's not going to be great forever. Big Daddy, the British guy.
It'll go around my waist. Not only do we get those pretty belts, but then, Lance, I get 5 minutes alone in the ring.
You know who I like in AEW that I think was, I don't understand why he got kind of, was, we talked about this before, I think, but is, what's that guy, Keith Lee. When he came out and threw those people around for a few weeks, and that's all he did was just like do those giant throws on people. I thought those were the coolest matches. I thought Hook was amazing back when he would just like go in and like demolish people and leave. But I feel like once they tried to like expand those on like that core formula, I feel like both of those characters just kind of like dropped off. Triple H, I don't have any opinion on him really. I didn't care for, it's not that I think he's a bad wrestler, but I didn't like him as he wasn't somebody that I wanted to watch. And during that like era where it was all about him, like I just kind of got burnt out on him.
With the wimp, J.D. Costello. Now let me tell you something, J.D. Let me give you a little advice. Let me tell you what to do, pal. Why don't you take a little shopping trip.
J.D. Costello should buy the deed to this hillbilly's farm and then use it to blackmail him to turn on Jerry Lawler.
This afternoon, you run down to Fredericks of Hollywood and buy yourself some nice frilly little underthings. Get yourself a nice pair of little pink lacy panties and a new garter belt and some nice hose with no runs in them, because you want to look your best when I strip those clothes off of you in front of all of those thousands of fans in Evansville, Indiana, brother. And if you don't think I'm going to do it, you got another thing coming. And after I get you stripped down and we see what kind of underwear you're wearing, then I'm going to take my fist and I'm going to do it.
Jerry Lawler is threatening to feminize and then fist J.D. Costello.
A number on you like you have never had done in your stinking life. I'm going to show you what it's like inside that ring, brother. I'm going to show you what it's like. Sweat, blood, and tears right there in Evansville. So come on down there, J.D.
Oh, hey, Showtime. Sorry, I didn't see that. I didn't see your comment for a second.
Polish up those belts. Get your little frilly underwear ready, because you're in store for the beating of your life.
Yeah, like who told Keith Lee to let his hair go gray? Oh my God. Like if he just would dye his hair, he would look like, it would be a completely different vibe.
I will sit down on them and hold them two boys, them two policemen. I love it.
Okay, the regional elimination to
Well, this suit's interesting.
determine a Southern winner for representative to that next January situation where the World Gold Cup Championship match will be held in Japan. Saw the team of Jerry the King Lawler and the Universal Heartthrob Austin Idol meeting Bill Dundee and Buddy Landell. Now, as we've already told you, the winners were Lawler and Idol over Dundee and Landell. But following that, well, something that I wasn't there to see, and Bill Dundee.
Yeah, I whenever Grace raided me one time while I was watching Memphis Wrestling, and so I put that clip of Jerry Lawler saying that because I thought that would help her audience transition over to the over to the Memphis show.
Bill, I don't want to get in an argument. I
Look at this outfit. Jesus.
just simply want to say it just looks like you can't get along with anybody.
Hey, it ain't me, Lancer. I sat by my telephone all week, and I thought, well, he's going to pick up the phone any day, and he's going to call, and he's going to apologize for what happened. And I was going to accept his apology. Now, Lance Russell, if any sportsman out there, anybody played any kind of sports, knows you can get mad at the end of an event. If you get beat, your adrenaline's flowing. And I was mad, so I slapped Buddy. And I would come out here and apologize to him, but he ain't here today. And that shows how much of a coward he is, right? He knew I was going to be here to wrestle, but I don't see him nowhere around here booked to wrestle. He booked to wrestle on there, Lance Russell?
No, he is.
I ain't
He
seen
is
him.
not.
Have you seen him? No. So that just shows what you are, Budrow. Everybody has ever tagged up with a superstar.
Tiny, yeah, he's a little guy, man. King of the Rats, though. What a run he had with the Rats. Incredible. There's a couple Bill Dundee shoot interviews too I'd like to watch over on Twitch sometime. Are handsome Jimmy Valiant and the Boogie Woogie Man Jimmy Valiant the same guy? Yeah. I think those pants aren't tight enough, a little too baggy.
Ends up being one of the greatest teams in professional wrestling. You know why, Lance Russell?
I still think I don't remember who said it when we were talking about Bill Dundee's body type, but somebody said El Dandy, and now literally I just see El Dandy now when I see Bill Dundee.
Because I'm the workhorse, Daddy. I'm the one that does it all. I win everybody, beat everybody, and the team gets the credit for it, but you're looking at what the winner is, me. So when I slapped him, and he was going to slap me back, I just left. And I thought, well, he'll call up the next day. But not him. He calls up Eddie Marlin, and he wants to wrestle me. Well, you're going to make a mistake, Landell. You're making the same mistake as Lawler made, because I got him out of town, and you brought him back. You're going to make the same mistake Terry Taylor made. I got rid of him. You're going to make the same mistake Steve Curran made. He was my partner, teamed up with Goofy Stan Lane, came and wrestled me in a single, and he's gone. Now, you blonde geek, you want to show everybody how bad you are? You want to show everybody how tough you are? Well, you just climb in here with the toughest professional wrestling pound for pound there is.
How's that going to work? Like, I remember when Dutch split off from him, they did a really good job of making it like Dutch's like turn to a baby face was really well done. It was almost like you didn't even notice it. But I wonder how they're going to do Landell, because he can't be, can he be a good guy? I mean, he can be like, you can respect him. Like in Smoky Mountain when he had his like serious run. Like he was a respectable heel for a little bit, but like he's not. How's he going to be? Buddy Landell as a baby face just doesn't seem right. He looks like he's not cool enough to wear the jacket.
I'm only 5'7", Landell, 205 pounds, but I'm the best there is at that weight, Russell.
Well, we're going to find out
Thanks, Distinction. 5'1" heel, by the way. Yeah.
exactly when you two guys.
Whenever we watched that clip of the Jamie Dundee shoot before we got copyright claimed, the people were sending in questions to him, and people kept calling Bill Dundee a midget, and it was like really setting off Jamie Dundee.
Meet, and you won't be meeting in the same. We've got some.
I'll tell you this too, Budrow. If you come out here today and apologize, if you can get on the phone and apologize to me, you can call this thing off without any embarrassment. But if you don't, sport, we're going to climb in that square circle, and I'm going to beat your brains out.
Well, you hear the comments from the superstar Bill Dundee. Bill, we're going to.
Is there anything better than that?
Well,
is there anything better than that?
Hey,
It's not that I'm scared of him, Russell. Don't even insinuate to them people that I'm scared of that figure four, because I'm not, Daddy. If he comes out and apologizes, I'll shake his hand. That's all I got to say.
Well, if you don't run off, we're going to show the end of it.
Yeah, Boudreaux, Buddy Landell. He definitely had it. Oh, for sure, yeah. You can tell in some of the like. I haven't actually watched any of his shoot interviews start to finish, but I've watched some different clips and stuff, and he seems like very, which he was a big deal. Like he was right below Lawler, so that's like he had a really cherry spot, but as if he could have made it like in every territory, I kind of doubt it. But neither could Bruno. Bruno wouldn't have made it in any territory. Maybe like only to me, only the NWA guys really could do that, like Flair and Harley Race. I don't know. I mean, Hogan, I guess, could, but that was after things had already kind of progressed by the time Hogan was like at his biggest.
This is a situation. Yeah, we got it on tape here.
Now you think I'm lying what?
Okay.
Could Jerry Lawler have drawn like in New York or in California like regularly? Like, could he have put up those numbers? And like, I don't think Bruno could have drawn in like the Carolinas consistently, but I could be wrong. How's it going, Mr. Meeseeks? Thanks, man. Bruno wouldn't have done well in the NWA. I remember, yeah, of course, the concession stand brawl, yeah. It's just, I just really like the territory era. I just think it's so, like, what interests me about wrestling is mostly is the storytelling, and like booking a territory is so much different than booking a promotion, because you didn't have anybody under contract, and like you had your like mainstays, but even they would cycle out. So it was like you had to constantly be adjusting your booking and factoring in like when people were going to become available. I just think it's so much more interesting, like from a booking perspective, like this era.
Hey, we'll give everybody a chance to make their own judgment. Here is the final match with Lawler and Idol against Dundee and Landell.
Bruno would be a jobber in the Attitude Era, yeah. It's hard for me to really, like, I've seen Bruno's matches, but it's from a different time. So like it's kind of like how I understand if people, like young people now, don't really get Memphis wrestling, because it's such a different, it's like such almost like a different species of wrestling. But like when I saw Bruno when I was a kid, he had that terrible toupee. He was old. They put him with his son. His son was awful. He was not a good wrestler. So like mentally for me, I have like the hype of Bruno, but like the reality of what I saw of him was like pretty dismal. But I mean, it was at the end of his career. It was the toupee. But I will say this, I watched a lot, like a documentary about the Bruno Sammartino Larry Zbyszko feud, and that was amazing.
Continues the support for Lawler. Down on the mat with Dundee, has Lawler in that sleeper hold. Lawler way away from the tag, way away from the ropes, but the King's not out of it.
Yeah, I'm a massive Buddy Landell fan, but like I don't know though. I mean, if you're a good heel, can you get over anywhere? Like, does your wrestling style matter as much when you're a heel? Because they were ready to give him the world title, but he got drunk and told him he wasn't coming in. But I don't know. Bruno, like, I feel like maybe that's why Flair's charisma could get him over anywhere, and like he was such a great heel. And then Harley Race, I feel like could just like adapt to anybody's style, so like he could kind of play anywhere. But I don't know. I mean, it's hard to. I know it's weird to think of Buddy Landell as a top guy, but like he was like super close to being in the top, the top spot. Old wrestling was kind of boring. I totally get it. Like the pacing is slower, especially Memphis is not really like a high impact, fast paced type wrestling. What category is this under? I don't think this isn't part of the Peacock or whatever, part of the WWF deal. Yeah, David Sammartino was awful. Yeah, I think Lawler was a jobber, but he was over. Like he was over as a character. He just wasn't going to beat Bret Hart, clean at that point in his career. But I think he was definitely over. The feud with Jake Roberts was amazing. Him like just railing on Jake Roberts, and I honestly believe if they hadn't had that feud, I don't think the Austin 316 thing would have been nearly as powerful. But like Jerry Lawler got people to forget about what a terrible person Jake Roberts had been, because he was so awful to him. He like bullied him so bad in that feud that like people felt sorry for him. And then when he had his big redemption, like at King of the Ring, he was like, at the time, people I knew thought it was a lock that Jake Roberts was going to win and he was going to get his like last run. And when Stone Cold beat him and then cut that promo on him, it was just like, wow. But I think Jerry Lawler should get some of that credit because he made Jake Roberts sympathetic again.
We sent the King as tough as anybody to put out. And for a chance at $100,000, let me tell you, Lawler will go way out and be fired up. Dundee continues the sleeper hold.
This is sour banana sherbet.
Thought maybe Lawler was going to try to get something going. Dundee with added pressure on that sleeper hold.
Jake relapsed because of that feud. Is that for real? Did he really? David Sammartino was better than David Flair. Agreed. David Flair, I don't understand it. There's some, if you're interested in the David Flair stories, Dutch has some on his podcast about working with him in Puerto Rico, and it seems like Dutch's story kind of changes a few times over the course of the podcast recordings, but they're still pretty funny stories.
The referee checking him again. I think he...
Speaking of like second generation wrestlers, what's his name? What was the Eric Watts. Eric Watts had that miserable original run, completely tanked, and then they brought him into TNA, and he did that. For some reason, this guy that nobody liked, they gave him a character that he was the coolest guy ever, and like all the women wanted to get with him, and he was like the toughest guy ever. I never understood that whole angle of bringing this guy in that nobody liked as like the coolest guy ever, unless it was like a big joke or something. Yeah, Reed Flair died. I'm not saying that Jake obviously has a life that would like, he went through stuff that would break a lot of people, but he definitely did a lot of pretty shitty things too. I don't know what he's doing now. I don't know if he's like taking accountability, but like blaming Honky Tonk Man, and it's always somebody else's fault why like something happens to him. Hopefully after the DDP thing, maybe he's in a different mindset. But yeah, Eric Watts, my God, what a disaster. In TNA, it's so bad that like it was almost good. Like it was that terrible.
Is Lawler out of it?
Oh, you know who I missed too? Remember what was her name? Lollipop, the dancer for TNA, the blonde. Another instance where they had a character who was beloved, and all she had to do was dance in her cage, and everybody loved her. And they were like, oh, everybody really likes this dancer. We're going to turn her into a wrestler. And that was it. Then she was gone. And she like flopped, and she was gone.
No! The king once again signified.
You cut promos with a winged eagle belt? Awesome. Is it red pill? If you make red pill content, if you legitimately make red pill content, holding a winged eagle belt on your shoulder while wearing a suit, I will review your content on my channel. That sounds amazing.
He's still in this thing. Dundee clamping down. Lawler trying to fight his way back. He's on his feet.
I liked Goldilocks, yeah. I don't remember for sure if her name was Lollipop, but it was and I'm not trying to be crude here, but I mean, it's just the reality. Whoever ran the camera for TNA loved Lollipop or whatever her name is. She was a good-looking blonde dancer. She got the best like gooner shots from this camera guy. Like he would open on her camel toe and then zoom out to her whole, like literally he would open on her camel toe and then zoom out to her full body, and like it was really gooner stuff, and everybody really was into her at the time. And then they tried to make her into more, and people didn't like that, and so that was like the end of the whole thing.
Dundee on his back. A sleeper hold. Lawler sends him back to the corner. He gets out of it. The king lets that strap down. Here comes Landell. Lawler caught him with a right. Look at him go. The king's back into this thing. Austin Idol. And we got them all four going. Lawler, Idol, Dundee and Landell.
After we watch Mid-South, if I remember, we'll watch a couple of videos of her.
Lawler pounded it. The Nature Boy. Dundee with a chop. Put down by Idol. But Lawler was caught with a fist by Landell.
Kind of mid. It was probably like just that she was like cage dancing, and then she was like in this like she was in like a wrestling environment. It was just kind of neat that I think anyway, that they had the girls dancing in the cages, but then that caused all kinds of PR issues. But I think they should, if Tony Khan wants to bring me back as a viewer, put some chicks in the cages and get some talented cameramen.
Idol going after the Nature Boy.
The dark, smoky arenas, absolutely.
Oh, we got them all four. Lawler comes back with a right, one to the head. The referee trying to put Idle out. This gives Dundee a chance to come off the top rope. Hey, Lawler moves.
Right.
Dundee hits Landell. 1, 2, 3. He got him. Yes, sir. 1, 2, 3. The winner.
You didn't watch early TNA. If you didn't see TNA or you did and you want to rewatch it, the TNA official channel has so much content that's all free. Like pretty much any pay-per-view from back in the day, like you can watch for free. They've got a bunch of like full TV episodes and shit.
Of the tournament and the chance to go.
The issue is that if you have a woman that's a great wrestler, like that's one thing. But if you're using eye candy and you're putting it in where it doesn't belong, and you're making somebody who's really good looking but isn't a good wrestler wrestle, then that's not like, then you're losing everybody there, because the wrestling fans don't like the wrestling and the gooners don't want to sit through. The gooners want to goon on the walk down, and that's it. You have to have real talent when you get to the ring. And so I think that's part of the issue, is that they're trying to like find this. I think some people get a pass for being good looking. Daphne is Sarah Palin. I always feel bad for Daphne. I saw her on the indies a lot, and then she had kind of a sad life, especially at the end.
To Tokyo, Japan for the World Cup Tag Team Tournament. Hey, what happened here? Dundee had pushed Landell. Landell's not going to take anything. Pushed him back. Dundee apparently blamed him. Hey, Dundee caught him. He has a chain. What?
But like, I don't think people would have the issues with women's wrestling if like everybody was like chosen for like wrestling skill. I think when it's like, I think Bailey's a great wrestler. I really liked, remember what was her name, Blue Pants, that came in like a few times in NXT. I thought Blue Pants was good. But then some of the people that come out are just like, I don't understand it. Like there's just no it's really basic wrestling, and it's not really like, it's not fluid.
What's going on here? Dundee has attacked his longtime partner, Landell. This proves Dundee what's going on here? This proves what a low down wrestler this Dundee is. He blames him for a chance at $100,000. Landell busted open bad. This is absolutely uncalled for. Disgusting situation.
Like when I was a kid, the women wrestlers, like they definitely weren't chosen because of how they looked. Like Judy Martin and what was her partner's name? Something Judy Martin and somebody. And I remember her and her partner had like a series of matches against the Jumping Bomb Angels from Japan. And like those matches were like, for women's matches at the time, were like mind blowing. I still think the Jumping Bomb Angel matches in I haven't seen their Japanese stuff, but their stuff in WWF I thought was all pretty good.
Here, Jerry Lawler watching back what's going on. But
Randy Hales, he's on YouTube. I talk about him all the time, but he streams, and I feel bad for him because he's like a legit legend. I mean, he's got so much knowledge, and he was like present for so much wrestling history in Memphis, and like his show barely gets anybody watching it. He has like under 10 people usually.
Landell, who's busted open badly, gets back into this thing. Body slams him. All right.
I'm glad you showed that, because you got my dander up, Daddy. I'm glad you showed that. When we went to the Superdome, it wasn't me that got beat. It was Landell that stumbled and fell down. Well, listen, Jack, I'm mad watching that tape. If you think you're going to cuss me, if you think you're going to beat my brains out, you're wrong. Now I'm mad. I'm not accepting his apology. If you come out and apologize, Landell, I don't want it.
Well, you got the Australian dander up is right, Dave.
Wendy Richter. What a story that is. Was there a full episode of Dark Side of the Ring about that, or was it part of like a documentary or something? I remember like that it was really whatever it was really well done. I feel like it was on one of the Vice shows, but like that telling her story about how she rose up and then her being part of one of the original screw jobs. That was such a crazy story.
In the ring up there, it's Dundee. He's upset. He's going to be going against David Haskins.
Oh, I don't want to be David Haskins.
No.
This is the guy that I keep thinking is Jerry Lawler.
Dundee goes right after him, but David Haskins set. Takes him down. Comes with a drop kick.
Well, he was mad and he made mistakes right off the...
All right, we'll see you later, Joe Snow. I usually do it every Friday, but I might do it more this week because I'm coming off of a ban, so I'm going to try to have a chill week.
Bat. Oh, uh-oh.
David
Speaking of
misses the
mistakes.
drop kick. Yeah, what a big mistake that is, too, in a match. Stretched out there, and Dundee was hanging onto the ropes. Haskins just hit the mat. Dundee flips him into the rope.
Oh, man.
Got him with a forearm coming off. That's a right fist to the side of the face 3 times now. Referee counting. There's a cover by Dundee. Counts 1, 2. Haskins kicks out at the 2 count. David thrown through the ropes down onto the floor.
Boy, Dundee changed his tune, too. He came out here at first and he said, if he'll call me, I'll accept his apology. Then he said, no way. Haskins taking the brunt of the anger that Dundee worked up against Buddy Landell.
Dundee forcing Haskins down to the mat again. A minute and a half into the action. Dundee and the
Oh, that poor fan in the audience. He was like, come on, Haskins, you can't quit. It's like, dude, he's going to quit for sure. He's going to lose.
referee, well, Dundee trying to talk Haskins into
Maybe, though, just maybe we'll get lucky and Landell will come out and interfere and we can get Haskins a win.
giving up on submission. Referee checking with him. Haskins shaking his head, though. He's staying in there. Dundee now getting a little upset with the crowd. They were chanting, go, David, go.
Goes right back to Haskins, wraps that arm around the rope and kicks him right in the shoulder. Rips him with a right hand.
Oh, for you Thorpe people, here's something kind of interesting. If you watch the Healthy Family Force stream from last night, and you scroll kind of deep into the video until you see that Joy is sitting inside of a closet. Like the view is kind of distant, but she's sitting down in a closet. And Rich is talking to her. And rewind just a little bit from there, and Rich goes on a big speech about how good-looking Ben is. And then they talk about the Thorpes like for a pretty good amount of time, but Ben really gets a glazing in it. He's basically named the best looking man on YouTube over 50.
Haskins unceremoniously dumped over the back coming off the ropes. Dundee picks him up, whips him into the ropes again.
Damn.
Looks
Count
like
is
it.
2, 3, got him, yeah. 2 minutes, 29 seconds. Bill Dundee getting the victory.
Whoa, look at here.
Hey,
Buddy Landell just
Oh shit.
walked through the door.
Oh my God. You guys are not going to believe this. You're not going to believe this. I have this same suit. I have this same suit. I'm going to have to wear it on stream sometime now.
Standing at the side of the ring.
You have got to be kidding me.
We got an interview scheduled with Landell.
It wasn't even a good clothesline. He just stood still and held his arm out. Like he didn't even actually hit him.
I don't know whether we're going to get a chance to or not. So he did
Hang
show
on a
up.
second. Oh, wait.
Dundee was saying what a coward he was, and now look at Dundee saying, wait a minute, let's talk about it. Dundee backing away.
Hey, man. He told me he wasn't here, but I don't mean none of that stuff I said, man. I swear.
And Bill Dundee goes walking away. And we did not tell him that Landell wasn't here. Dundee was the one that said he was a coward and wouldn't show up. Buddy, obviously, there's been a lot going on between you and Bill Dundee. Dundee made reference not only to the match that just took place, he made reference to the big Superdome contest that you were the one that caused it.
Thank you for the sub. Hold on a second. Let's see. Maybe you can see this jacket a little bit better. Hang on. I got the same, like, pink suit as Buddy Landell.
Lance, if you don't mind, I don't mean to interrupt you, and I'm not going to come out here all kissy-face and all this stuff, all right? But just let me tell my side of the story, all right? Now, Dundee, if he's been waiting on a phone call from the Nature Boy, baby, it's obvious that he's delirious from not getting any sleep all week. Because, Dundee, let me tell you one thing, brother. You've been riding on my coattail from day one. I was the one that was a national superstar. I'm the one. Nature Boy Buddy Landell is the reason why that we got down to the Superdome, all right? Don't fool and kid yourself, because these people out here know who was the workhorse, all right? Now, Dundee, it's no secret that I wouldn't walk across the street to spit in your guts if your tail was on fire.
I think his aesthetic is amazing. It's like 80s, like 80s. 80s, like redneck, but like weird, like he's like a Boogie Nights character.
And that's honest to God's truth.
Speaking of Boogie Nights characters, Ruby Spacek last night had the wildest outfit on. It was like a red and it was like a yellow shirt, like a yellow sweater with a red turtleneck. And then she had on like these little like red velvet shorts. And then she had these like red sunglasses on. She looked exactly like I told her she looked like a porn star from the 70s vacationing in Aspen.
Now, Lance Russell, he made it all so easy. Every time we wanted to have a match, he was always so, every time we started, he always wanted to tag me. He always wanted me to test the water, right? Well, Dundee, let me tell you one thing, brother. You busted my head open, that's true. And everybody saw it. But you didn't get no... I've bled before, baby. I've been there. This ain't my first time to the rodeo, Daddy. And Lance Russell, I don't care where it's at. But Dundee, I'm going to beat your brains in, Daddy. Everybody saw you on TV just...
Joe Shabatoni would appreciate the gratuitous use of daddy.
Cower down and walk out the back door. Not the front, but you walked out the back door. And the little old cliche goes, if you can't get along, get it on, Daddy. And that's exactly what's going to happen. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, I hear Buddy Landell telling a story, and it looks like you're not about to make any phone call. All you want to do is meet him in the ring.
That's exactly right, Lance Russell. There ain't no secret that me and Dundee, I was the best thing that ever happened to you, Bill. I was your friend when nobody else was your friend. When you turned your back...
I think this is a great promo, but I think Buddy Landell's always a good promo, but I love the energy in this is just wild.
Back on everybody, there was always the Nature Boy there. There was always Buddy there. There was always Buddy to blame. There was always Buddy this, Buddy that. Oh, Buddy ain't going to be your patsy no more, little man. You know what I'm talking about?
Ooh, little man.
Yeah, you're 5'7", 205 pounds, and you're one of the toughest men that I've ever met in my life. And I had a lot of respect for you. You notice I said had, not have. I had respect for you. Now I'm sick and tired, just like...
She looked good. Oh, she did. I think that was like my favorite Ruby look ever. Definitely.
The people sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of running down that road with you and hearing I feel sorry for Bill Dundee's story. Oh, I got my own story, Daddy, and it is I'm going to tear your brains out.
There you...
If you didn't watch her stream and you like the Thorpe stuff, King TL was on there. He really went off the deep end. He was doing like, he was like alternating between like being a sub to Janet and then like aggressively going after Janet. It was really interesting. It was really good. Spicoli was on for like 2 seconds.
Here, Buddy Landell, I will apologize right now for
People are pretty sure that Janet gooned during the stream at one point.
any comments that were undue.
King said he could tell because of her voice and her breathing rate that while she had been gone for a few minutes that she had definitely been gooning.
Should not have been said by Landell. He obviously is fired up, burning up at Bill Dundee, and they will meet in the ring. Buddy
Also, Ruby told a story about masturbating in a Mexican restaurant.
Landell, Bill Dundee. You haven't heard the last of that. We're going to take time out, and we'll be back in a moment. To tell you about the grudge battle of the year that's coming Wednesday night right into the Evansville Coliseum. I'll tell you, the entire card of 6 full matches going to be something else, and you better make your plans to be there. Do your friends and neighbors a favor. Bring them on down there Wednesday night, too. Bill Dundee, Buddy Landell going to be hitting it on right there in the Evansville Coliseum. And that's not all. You will be looking at a lumberjack match with Joe LeDuc and Abdul Gaddafi.
Thanks, King. I feel like I summed up the stream. It was a good stream. It's definitely worth checking out if you like Ruby and Thorpe-averse content.
Paul Diamond going against the Danny Fargo. Then it'll be Billy Travis and Pat Rose, Tony Falk and Pat Tanaka, and an AWA.
I actually learned during the stream that the reason that I like to watch Grace and Pearly Things and Vegan Patriot is because deep down I have like a Viking fetish. So, like, I was imagining Pearly Things, like, storming a village with, like, dual hand axes and shit. And I really learned a lot about myself that, like, my type is basically, like, a Viking girl. No, this is Memphis, 1986. This is from May 24th. It's the Evansville, Indiana broadcast. We watch only Evansville broadcasts on this channel.
Southern Tag title match that'll have the Mod Squad of J.D. Costello going against Jerry Lawler and the Giant Hillbilly. Now, in that one, if Lawler's team wins, he's going to get 5 minutes with J.D. Costello in that ring by himself. Dundee Landell. Can you believe it? Coming up Wednesday night, the Evansville Coliseum. What a night of action. Be there.
There you go. My type is Shield Maiden. Like the one, what's the Lydia from Skyrim. There you go.
All right, we're about set to go here with a 6-man tag team match. Got the Mod Squad on one side of the ring with a brand new partner.
Lance Russell, I would like to introduce one of the
Greatest ally Israel was that I have to credit them for pointing it out. They were like, do you have a thing for tall, I think he said tall, stocky women.
premier wrestlers in the country. He's brand new. I've gone to great lengths to find this wrestler, and
this is the richest guy in the world, by the way. Look how I guess if you're the richest guy in the world, you can dress however you want to, but
I would like to introduce Danny Fargo to the entire wrestling community today. He's a
oh my God, look at this guy. Danny Fargo.
winner because I manage him.
JD, we got a match coming up here, so, you know.
If any of you, I know there's some people in here who grew up watching Memphis. Is this a real Fargo or is this like a kayfabe Fargo?
We heard about Danny Fargo.
All promoters have tried to get a hold of Danny Fargo, but who gets him? Yes, J.D. Costello.
I've got to ring the bell. We've got to go. Okay, bell time, and we're off and running with the Mod Squad and J.D. Costello.
No, I don't have a suit like that, unfortunately. Your dad's favorite was Superstar Bill Dundee. Ruby Spurg out on Lolcow Kings. She went on. Is Lolcow Kings a real show?
They are going again.
Oh my God. Oh my God. We talked about it a little bit at the beginning of this stream, but if you didn't watch Lolcow Vibes last night, myself and another chatter named Cheeky, we did not coordinate, but we ended up in the chat together, and we both had an intention of kind of messing with Thick Gemini, and the show went completely off the rails. He says some really wild shit about Grace. It's a great episode. I'm going to do a full review on it at some point. It was really good. He turned the I can't I don't want to spoil it. It was very entertaining though. Thick Gemini is like a low key, like if you were like a long-term investor, Thick Gemini is someone to invest in because he is so outlandish and over the top. He has a rap career, and he had these like really like heavy like red pill sounding rap songs, but coming from like Thick Gemini's voice. Lolcow Kings isn't a real thing. Oh, I was gonna say, I feel like I keep looking for it because it had Prancess on it. I was like, is Prancess really on Lolcow Kings? And if he isn't, like, it's funny that there's like promotional material saying that he is.
It's the team today of Benny Traylor, Jim Jameson, and Mike.
No, it's Benny Traylor, I think. I wish it was Coco Ware. He was on at the beginning of the year when we were at the start of the 86.
Murphy.
Lance Russell, the team that we're going up against, the names don't matter because we're going to slaughter them like we do everybody.
Thick Gemini he said that Grace was a big back redhead retard. And he also said that he was going to R-word that retard redhead.
Else. Let me talk about Danny Fargo for a second. You know, all the promoters across the country have tried to recruit this guy, but I found him. I have gone through extensive training sessions with him. He's in top physical condition right now. Mentally, he's prepared. You have to be mentally prepared to be a great professional wrestler. And look at him right now. He's tearing this guy apart.
Well, we see it, and
I don't think Benny Traylor is representing China. I don't think it's a political statement.
There as Danny Fargo steps into the...
I'm pretty sure he has like at least two other colors. I want to say he has a blue with white, and then is he part of the green team? I think maybe he had green too.
Ring for his first appearance.
You're thinking of Gaddafi. Whatever happened to Gaddafi? We haven't seen him for like 2 shows, I think.
Against Benny Traylor. Benny Traylor, the representative from the other side, and he is teamed with Spike and Basher. I'm talking about Danny Fargo.
You know, Jackie Fargo, let me say this. Jackie Fargo has tried to suppress Danny Fargo for many, many years. That's exactly what's happened. But I have found him.
I can't wait till AI advances to the point that we can listen to Savvy Guy presentations, but with J.D. Costello's voice.
Well, Lance, you know, I think it would be best not to talk about the relationship between the fabulous...
I actually left when Lowe came on.
Danny Fargo.
Are you indicating...
Not because I don't like her, but because, like, if there was like something else I wanted to do, I like to like wait for like a natural break point in the show, and so like that was kind of the show was kind of shifting at that point. But I should probably check it out if King was still going off.
There's some relationship between this young gentleman that
I lost it whenever King called Janet a liar.
You have now in the dynasty.
The fabulous Danny Fargo.
The fabulous.
Let's don't talk about Jackie Fargo's indiscretions and mistakes of 20 to 30 years ago. And let's just leave it at that, all right?
Well, maybe we'd better leave it at that for the
That power slam is way, way better. Way better. It's getting much, much better. She's kind of boring and a party pooper, yeah. That's kind of the vibe I got out of it, which isn't a bad thing. It's just, it's weird. Wholesome content in even Thorpe adjacency is weird.
That J.D. Costello's making. Jim Jameson, I'd like to talk just a second about the match in there as Danny Fargo.
Thanks, Reptilian Richard Ramirez. Appreciate it. Praise Grace for using her skills of persuasion to bail out her chief ovary washer.
Danny Fargo, Lance, get it right.
All right. Count of 2 is all the fabulous Danny Fargo.
Oh, you're doing such a great job now. Thank you for doing that, Lance.
Boy, I really needed that praise from you. Fargo slams him with that right fist and now comes over. And
Ruby will tell a whole story about like rubbing one out in a Mexican restaurant, and then like 10 Kings will say something, and then Ruby will like, okay, we've got to clean up the chat. We're scaring Low off.
Makes the tag.
Danny Fargo, since joining my dynasty, has improved about 100%. He's going to win every match he's got.
That's good to hear, Richard.
He's going to have world championship belts around his waist from now on out. You know that. Lance, isn't everything I say, hadn't it always happened, everything?
The only thing she wants, Richard, is likes. And if you give her 5 of them, she'll take a sock off.
That I've said.
Well, JD, sometimes you would stretch. Well, we won't go into that either. Right now, Spike is up there, and he is kicking the stew out of Jim
Look at Spike and
Jameson.
Basher.
I was like really close to doing a Savvy Man tribute, of doing like a Savvy Man type presentation where I talked about the situation, but I didn't know if people would get it, or they would think that it was like, they would take it at face value, and I was like, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't.
They're great wrestlers. They do so much for me. I love them to death.
Chin locks Jameson, holds him down on the deck, and the partners,
Danny Fargo reminds you of Shawn Michaels.
Benny Traylor and Mike Murphy. Murphy has not been in the ring as yet, and the way
For $100? Oh my God, who knows? Did you see when she talked to Grace? I think she deleted this. She deleted the stream where Grace came in and talked to her in the chat, but she acted like Grace was like you thought she was talking like a Hollywood movie star or something. She was like, "Oh my God, Grace, get out of here. You're too cool to be in here." And like her foot simps were like, "I want you to use my spine as a staircase to my wallet."
the Mod Squad and Danny Fargo is
The
going.
fabulous Danny Fargo. Say fabulous, Lance. Say it one time.
Fabulous Danny
Yellow stained bed sheets.
Fargo,
Thank you,
JD.
thank
Get
you.
off at back, will you? Good night. And there's a tag, and in comes Basher. Takes over on Jim Jameson as the Southern Tag Champs, the Mod Squad, handling the bulk of the action here in his 6-man tag. Jameson dumped down.
Dude, that's so insane to me that somebody would think that. And also, like, why wouldn't you, like, ask? Like, literally, if she would have messaged me and said, hey, would you mind not putting that in the title of the video? I would have been like, of course. Like, I'm not like running a Foot Girl detractor channel. I just post stuff that I think people that are interested in Grace or interested in Boyd would be interested in. Stretch him.
Hard to the center of the ring.
Here comes it.
But, you know, well, Richard, I was going to title my presentation about it. It was going to be seeking vengeance on an ungodly woman is foolishness. That was going to be the title.
The fabulous Danny Fargo, once again. You know, he has a combination of speed, courage, and strength. Strength so overwhelming, I'm sure promoters in this area are going to find a hard time finding him competition.
Yeah, and she would like talk to him. That's what I was talking about. Like, I thought the vibe in her chat was really interesting because I went in to have a regular conversation with her about Grace, and we had it. But during it, she was also having these side conversations with these foot simps that were completely like kink driven. You know what I mean? I just thought it was really funny. So she'd be like, "Oh yeah, I think Grace is really talented, you know, but I don't know about Ben." And yeah, that's right. You know, you can't have these feet. And I just think, you know, Grace could really, you know, do well. It's just like, it's such a weird environment.
He just
In a good way.
threw a big elbow and knocked Jameson flat on his back in there, center of the
This
ring.
guy, he's wrestling.
No, don't do that, Reptilian Richard Ramirez, because seeking vengeance on an ungodly woman is foolishness. And there are no godly women, so you know what I'm saying?
He looks like soggy jello, doesn't he?
Going at it.
When you got the king of tag team wrestling, Spike and Basher of the Mod Squad, and the fabulous Danny Fargo all together, woo-wee, look at that.
Basher and Spike double teaming on Jameson. Suplex him over.
The truth is, it wasn't so much her, it was this guy Panda the Gray. Panda the Gray is a foot simp. He came into her chat right before Grace did, and he's like, "Did you know Mark Fusion is re-uploading your content?" Foot Girl says, like, told me, promotion. She doesn't mind if it gets to Grace, so on and so forth. In fact, I told you guys the first time I went over there that I didn't clip her because I didn't know what the vibe was with her. And so I came back and she's like, oh yeah, promotion, whatever. And so I was like, okay, now I feel, okay, I'm comfortable clipping this section where she's talking about Grace. So I did. But he was like, I'm going to send the information over to your Instagram if you want to take action. So like Panda the Gray is actually the reason that I got the strike, because he was pressing her. If you go back and watch those streams where she talks to me, she says she doesn't like my vibe. That's bullshit. We never had any issues at all communicating back and forth. Now, she didn't like some of the things people said to her that day that Grace came in, but that's got nothing to do with me. Like, that's not, I can't control what other people say, but we always were nice to each other until Panda the Gray stepped in.
And down, I would have to mention that Basher's face doesn't look too
I did watch the Netflix on Raw, yeah.
good today, JD.
That was done at the hands of Jerry Lawler. I want everyone to see that.
Atomic knee. And so the fabulous Danny Fargo using that atomic knee
Danny Fargo.
drop, and he did in fact get the 3 count. 1, 2, 3.
And then after Grace talked about it on her stream the first time when she was like, okay, let's just get it out of the way, like, Mark Fusion got struck by Foot Girl, he immediately came onto my post about it and was like, well, why don't you take her to federal court over it? How's it going, Shelton?
Didn't I tell you we were going to win?
Yes, you did.
Everything
JD.
I say happens, doesn't it, Lance? It's been such a pleasure being up here commentating with you. With you, maybe one day I'll have your job, Lance.
Thank you, JD. So the Mod Squad.
This guy's great.
With the fabulous Danny Fargo, the newest member of the dynasty, ending up with a victory.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. It was like, if I could just kind of like watch it casually and like not like, I don't know, whatever, brain it where I'm like picking everything apart. If I can just like kind of turn my brain off and just be a wrestling fan again, like, I feel like I could probably follow it because it's so easy on Netflix for me to keep up with it. But I wasn't like blown away by it, but I thought it was like pretty like watchable.
Time on it was 4 minutes, 25 seconds, 4:25 as the Mod Squad and the fabulous Danny Fargo put it together.
I don't think he actually is. I don't think he actually is a Fargo. I can't wait to see the IRL with her and Grace, though. I think that'll be funny.
Together and get the win.
Save you a little harassment there. JD is rather insistent in there as he made some innuendos about a relationship with Jackie Fargo, and you can...
Oh, so even they're kind of like, we don't know if this is a real Fargo. And that kind of makes sense because JD Costello's the richest man on earth. So if he can't have Jackie Fargo, he'll just buy a Fargo.
Discount all of those. I'm sure you'll be hearing more from J.D. Costello later on. But the winners, in fact, the Mod Squad and Danny Fargo coming in right now. Gentlemen with Mid-America Heavyweight title belt draped at his shoulder. The tough Dutchman out of Oil Trough, Texas.
Oh, shoot. I thought my internet was messing up. I think my appreciation for Dutch is like through the roof. After watching him in Memphis, I just feel like I have such a better understanding, like, for him as a performer. But I think the like storyline we're watching right now, like, I just think is so good with him. And it all started with that amazing segment where remember they did that interview in like somebody's basement and he played the guitar and did like a real heartfelt speech. I feel like ever since then it's just been like pure gold.
First of all, let me say I've been watching the show today and I am delighted.
Narco Fusion. I know, that was my favorite part about the Foot Girl thing. And she's like, oh, I thought he was narking on me for smoking a blunt. So I decided I was going to narc on him to one of the biggest companies in the world. Yeah, that's some real integrity.
That Landell and Dundee fell out because, hey, it happened to me and I know it can happen to anybody else. And it was just a matter of time. Anything that'll mess up Bill Dundee, then I'm for it.
And I saw J.D. Costello here. He's not stopping. He's trying to sign everybody up, and the guy's name is what? Fargo is his last name?
Yeah.
Well,
I really hadn't seen that much of him. So I'm like, I knew him like as more as a Zeb Coulter, and when he did like the Uncle Zebekiah or whatever. But I loved the Zeb Coulter stuff. I thought that was so awesome. My Twitch channel stuff is set up around like the We the People.
One guy that won't set too good with, and that's Jackie Fargo. When he hears about it, we might hear some repercussions.
You think she might be... Okay, partially downy? Okay.
About that.
Yeah.
Now, let me say one thing. I'm the Mid-America champion right now, and I'm glad to be the Mid-America champion. I've held it before, and I got it now. And
we need to send El Jim over there, Reptilian Richard. He would like that, I think. He'd be a big fan of Foot Girl.
One guy wants to challenge me for it, and his name is Rip Rogers.
Yes, you do.
The Hustler, Rip Rogers, wants to come after me, baby, and wants to see if he can take the dust.
He was hairy as fuck. Yeah, for sure. It's like whenever he gets mad and takes like his straps down, it just looks like he's still wearing his singlet.
From the distance. Well, a lot of people tried, and a lot of people failed, and a lot of people got by me. And I'm not taking nothing away from Rogers because he is a fine athlete, and he was a bodybuilder, and I guess he did win some bodybuilding contests.
Yes, he did.
And he is a good wrestler, and I could go on and on and on and on. But see, still, that doesn't make him the Mid-America champion.
Imagine Sweaty Dutch grabbing you in a headlock, yeah. Or like a head scissors.
No, that's true.
And the only thing that's going to make him the Mid-America champion is for him to take me down for a 1, 2, 3. 3 seconds is a long, long time.
I really like this like aesthetic, this vibe of this like outlaw country. And then next week he'll come out looking like he's outlaw country, but he's just been to like the tennis court.
Hey, please, no trouble out here now.
Excuse me,
Oh,
there'll
boy.
be no trouble. Get the camera on me. I'm the man everybody knows. I'm the man that's famous worldwide. I'm the man who never brags. I'm the man who's held the Florida heavyweight champion. I'm the man who's held the Southeastern heavyweight championship, which I retired undefeated.
Was that real though, the Becky stuff? I was watching it and Boogie was showing like pictures of a house, and then after he showed all the pictures, he's like, now of course we don't know what Becky's house looks like, but we can assume it's similar to the home shown in these pictures. And I'm like, wait, you're just showing random pictures and then you're clarifying in a quick sentence at the end that that's not Becky's place? Like, I don't get that. You were genuinely upset that they tried to deceive you. Actually, well, I mean, it's Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Why do you think Doink the Clown tried to shoot on him when they were both in their 60s? He had enough of Hacksaw's shit.
I'm one half the former national tag team champions. I've been seen nationwide. Former Pacific Coast heavyweight champion. I've won the bodybuilding titles. I'm the man everybody wants, and I'm the guy that drives all you women out.
I've got like a week left. I tried to go up and confront Boogie about betraying Ben Thorpe, but now that's kind of like old news, and I know they'll just cut me off if I say that. So I was thinking about calling into using the Discord to call into Queens and just like trying to piss Tina off.
Out there, mad. And Dutch Mantel, I see you finally won a belt, the first of your career. And I've come in here and I beat the drug addict. I beat everybody on the ladder on the way.
I came in here and I beat a drug addict.
Up with that national reputation, baby. And I'm here to challenge you, Mantel, because you're from Vietnam and that's what you got good at. You're good from high.
Is that for real? He really does have those screenshots to show that he's not, at least he's not as bad as that. That's crazy. This is an interesting dynamic here. We have two very different personas and looks. This is like a Street Fighter type, or like Marvel versus Capcom.
Hiding, baby, because you've been hiding from the Hustler Rip Riders because everybody knows I'm a champion and everybody knows that I'm bad, baby. Don't touch me.
That looks real. Where'd you get that? You get that from J.D.? That looks like something J.D. would wear. But let me tell you one thing. You've done a lot of things in your career. And you've held this belt and that belt and and done this, Pacific Northwest, all over. But there's one thing you hadn't done, Rip.
What's that?
You ain't beat me for this. That's one thing you haven't done.
That's true. That's true. It
You
has to be
haven't
done in the
beaten me
middle of
for
the
this.
ring, not right up here.
First time, one time only, Mantel. You put your Mid-America heavyweight title up, and I'll take it, mark it, because I'm bad, baby. Woo! Oh, no, you won't do it, Rogers.
He has a jacket with the state of Texas on the back. Pat Rose has a jacket with the state of Florida on the back. Is this going to become a trend?
Hey, don't walk away, boy. I'm going to slap the taste out of your mouth. I took pills bigger than him, and he ain't taking me down. People, you saw who walked away. Rip Rogers walked away, but when I get him in the ring,
She who shall not be named.
he's not going to walk too far because I'm going to be right behind him every step of the way.
Mid-America title holder, Dutch Mantel. More action coming up in just a moment.
You're going to get drunk? All right. I think wrestling and drinking kind of go together pretty well.
All ready to go with the tag team action coming up here.
Now, we heard about the Hunters, but did we actually get to see them? Was that kind of like that feral, primal-looking team?
As David Johnson and Henry Rutledge are in the ring. Coming out right now. Second appearance.
No, these are the Hunters are the Pitbull style guys.
It's on Championship Wrestling. First time that that I personally have had a chance to see them, the Hunters, Dave.
Yeah, we've had them here one time before. They are a rugged-looking tag team. They come out of Black Rock Mountain, Georgia.
Stepping outside is
not a fan of drinking. I can understand people that like to drink and who don't like to drink, and same with like smoking. Like it all has positives and it all has negatives, but like I definitely would rather be high than drunk.
Raven.
Yeah, the Eagle is the one that's starting there against David Johnson.
Well, in keeping with the outdoorsy name of the Hunters, their individual names, Raven and Eagle. That's Eagle in the ring.
Raven and Eagle?
Raven on the outside. And David Johnson feeling the brunt of the Eagle as he fires Johnson across the ring.
I guess, though, like, it's just something you have to get used to. Like, I don't think anything of saying, like, Axe and Smash from Demolition, but if I just randomly saw a character on here named Axe, like, or the guy earlier, his name was, like, Basher in the Mod Squad, like, that's kind of that doesn't really work for me.
Angle catches him with a drop kick. Both these guys very well built.
Yeah, they're both have pretty good moves too. They both seem to be in pretty good condition athletically.
That is Raven dropping with that elbow on David Johnson. Ooh. Johnson dumped down on the floor unceremonious.
That was kind of that was an interesting thing to do.
Obviously, and now down off the edge of the ring to the floor of the studio. Fired back in by Eagle. Really not much of a test for the Hunters. They did have some difficult competition in the elimination tournament matches. And they look very...
Oh, I don't know if I told you guys this. This is only going to be really relevant to like probably Thorposphere people, but Healthy Family Force, Jedi Rich and Jedi Joy actually reached out to me and want to make me an editor on their channel, which means that I will have like unprecedented access to like all things Healthy Family Force. Like I'll have the keys to the kingdom.
Very good. Over to the corner. Here comes Henry Rutledge. Oh, boy, look at that tight one. Man, he really...
Which partially was inspired by them seeing that Foot Girl struck my channel. And so they, Rich reached out to me about that. But that's just another reason, as Savvy Guy would say, that you seeking vengeance on an ungodly woman is foolishness, because they'll just write their own downfall. And even though she harmed me temporarily, like that led to an opportunity of being brought in, to the Healthy Family Force world. So
He did. That snap suplex put him over and down in a
let me know in the comments what you think of that presentation.
hurry. And the Eagle.
This is wrestling, not hating on the new styles, but it looks like someone's getting beating up. Yeah, I agree. And I think for me, it's just like, it's so story driven and character driven. Like, I feel like that's what really keeps me like coming back. Like some of the guys that I'm not even interested in seeing wrestle. I want to see them wrestle because I want to see how their character or how their storyline plays out. Grace so far showed no interest. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be much of a crossover. Like I'm gonna migrate Healthy Family Force out of Thorpe Alert before I put it back up. They're gonna have their own playlist now. The HFF though is interested in Ben and Grace, and they had a great pretty wild discussion about him last night.
Again, makes a tag on his partner. Referee Jerry Calhoun says, all right, 1-1-1. Cross the ring.
And Grace did that pretty good interview with Joy, too. I really like that. Was that on the first episode of Rejects, maybe?
Into the ropes. And Rutledge in total disarray. Slammed down. He is not in the class of these two guys.
No, neither he nor David.
We're nearly reaching the class. Yeah, we're up to we're on the inner circle of HFF. We're battling ungodly women on YouTube.
Has much chance here. Of course, upsets happen.
Watching old school wrestling.
But boy, I tell you,
yeah, we had a super upset one time here in a tag team match, as a matter of fact, involving the belts. Is an amazing situation.
Yeah, but you got to say that right now the Hunters well in control, and they by far are the team that would be favored to win the match.
Yeah, I would not like to bet the Homestead on, on the underdogs there. Rutledge being shattered in there by Eagle, who is the smaller of the two Hunters. Neither one of them are very small, but he is the smaller of the two. In the air. And an interesting move as he deposits.
I'm not really loving the Hunters. I don't know. They seem like they should be like more, I don't know. I can't explain it. Like I feel like I want them to be like brawlers, but they're not wrestling like the style so maybe I'm just not, since I don't like the style they're wrestling, I don't like them, but I don't know. I just feel like they should be like, have more of like a monster type feel, even though they're really not that big, but they should be like crushing these guys.
Gets him back to the center of the ring and immediately makes a tag on Raven and Henry Rutledge, being tossed around like a rag doll as he's bounced down off the floor. This may be it. 1, 2. No?
Picked him up.
Oh, man. And a referee having a word to say with a Raven. He may decide it would be a good time to invoke the referee's prerogative and stop the match as Rutledge is being...
Hey, could somebody Google and see who these guys are? The Hunters, Raven, and Eagle.
Pounded around by the Hunter. Big power slam.
It's hard to tell because the image, it's not a super clear image, but I think, well, they both kind of look like Bull Payne, but I'm wondering if one of them is Bull Payne because I know he wrestled in Memphis, but maybe I'm just like, maybe that's high brain.
And again, he picked him up at 2. The size of these Hunters is deceptive when you first see them. They don't look like 250-pound wrestlers, but they are. It's all muscle.
Yes.
There's a 3 count.
Yeah. Mercifully, they decided not to pick him up again.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm getting like Bull Payne vibes. Oh, thanks. They call me Mr. Figs.
And the victory will go to the Hunter.
3 minutes, 53 seconds the time.
That's the quickest way to get Rich pissed off, is to talk about buying the subs. He made a video about it not too long ago. You remember, do you know who Trekkie is from Chaotic Truth? he ran their stuff through the AI, and the AI basically said that it didn't look like they bought the subs, and Rich posted it like as like a dossier form almost. It was pretty entertaining.
It was Hunters all the way. Raven and Eagle seizing control early, and they kept it throughout the entire match as they defeated Henry Rutledge and David Johnson.
The Bounty Hunters. I think these guys are just called just the Hunters.
In under 4 minutes, the victory came. It could.
Maybe they changed the name. I'm not sure. I'm not like this. I started at the beginning of 1986, and aside from like the Andy Kaufman stuff and just random one-off matches, like I really don't know too much about Memphis.
Could have been a lot quicker than that. They had him pinned, but they would not pin him.
This is like a long-term learning experience for me.
Raven and Eagle, the Hunter.
The Georgia Sledgehammer right there.
This is the guy that I thought was Bull Payne, but seeing him now, I think I'm just high. It looks a little bit like him, but I only saw Bull Payne when it like 15 years after this, so maybe I'm just hallucinating.
Hey, why don't you shut up out there? All we heard is about the competition around here. Well, the Hunters are here. Raven and Eagle. You want to know where the beef is at? Well, baby, there's the beef right here. All right, baby.
You want to know where the beef is?
Well, let me tell you, there's plenty of tag team competition around here.
That was like was it Wendy's? Where they had the old lady that said like, where's the beef? I don't like, to me, that's like a known thing, but maybe if you're like younger, that might not be as well known in the zeitgeist.
This is the tag.
Ain't seen any of them.
Yeah.
No, you got to give us right there. Hey, we was in.
Somebody shouted, "Take your bald ass home." Like I think it was in 2006. It was either 2000. No, it might have been 2005, but it might have been 2006. It's one of those two. There was a King of the Deathmatch tournament down in Alabama, and there was a guy on there. His name was Iceberg, and he was like this huge bald white guy. And somebody in the crowd, I'll never forget it. I don't think I'll ever forget it. As he was walking by, this guy leaned out and he's like, "Hey, Baldy, where'd all your hair go?" And like he just roared, like he thought it was the funniest shit, and like everyone around him was like losing their minds. Like I'll never forget that guy yelling that, asking him where did all of his hair go.
In the tag team tournament.
It's just such a wholesome thing to say, but it got over huge with the fans.
We went through the Duke and Mantel, and we had.
Before they found out that it was a deathmatch tournament and called the police.
Lawler and Pretty Austin Idol. And what happened? They didn't beat us. They bring their own coin out there with two heads on it, not one tail.
Glad you're not the only one who blazes up and watches old school wrestling. Yeah, I try to do it at least once a week, and then also we'll watch if I can find interviews and stuff that we can show without getting in trouble. We'll watch wrestling interviews and stuff like that. But I get high doing tons of stuff on here.
Yeah, but two heads, and they flip it, and they go in and win the tag team tournament. Yeah. We should have won $100,000. Well, that's okay. We're just issuing warning to every tag team around here. Mantel, Lawler, Uncle Elmer, we like them big and we like them tough because they're going down 1, 2, 3, and Mr. Buddy Landell. Okay. Pretty boy.
I don't know about calling out Uncle Elmer.
Boy, Buddy Landell.
Who's now been called by all three names on this show: Plowboy Frazier, Giant Hillbilly, and Uncle Elmer.
Used to have respect for him, but he turned coat. So Landell, you want to wrestle two men? Well,
this guy here is kind of like he looks like if Vader had a younger, a little brother.
Baby, you looking at the men right here. We'll take you in there. We make this.
I wish I could watch those. I can watch them over on Twitch, but I can't watch them here. They'll WWE has interrupted me quite a few times trying to watch that stuff. They even did it on the Mid-South.
Give him a Georgia-style haircut just like we got. You like that?
Well, that certainly is unique. I will say that. Here they are, Eagle and Raven, the Hunters from out of Georgia, and we'll be seeing more of them, I am sure.
You go to church with a former wrestler, the guy that wrestled WWF. Is it Mario Mancini?
Sure. Take time out, and we'll be back in just a moment. Okay, back to that action right here on Channel 7. Championship Wrestling coming up in just a moment. Boy, looking at action. Wednesday night. What a night of action that.
He has to come up with so many different ways to be excited each week without, like, repeating them, like, consecutively. But it's always like, what a card, folks. Son of a gun.
Is going to be that will include not only the grudge battle of the year, and let me tell you, if there wasn't another bout on the card, to see Bill Dundee and Buddy Landell getting it on is going to be something else. You're going to see an AWA Southern Tag Championship match where the Mod Squad of J.D. Costello will be facing Jerry the King Lawler and the Giant Hillbilly, with a special stipulation, J.D., that if Lawler's team wins and picks the belts up, he gets 5 minutes with you in the ring by yourself.
And you would love that to death, wouldn't you, Lance Russell?
Gotta be honest.
Jerry Lawler probably came up with this idea. Well, let me tell you one thing, Jerry Lawler. Everything in life that you want, you don't get. These are our Southern Tag Team belts. We've had them for a good while now, and we're going to keep them. So you come on after us. So you get the Giant Hillbilly. I call him the Giant.
And we are available for bachelor and bachelorette parties.
Blob, and you bring him to the ring. Well, I'm disgraced to be in the squared circle with him because he smells like a pigsty. You know, he reminds me of a giant dinosaur. He's got a great big body, but he's got the brain about the size of a pea. Well, that's not what wrestling's all about. It's mind control. And for you, Jerry Lawler, you've had your chance to get our belts before, but here you come back.
Mind control? That sounds like Aphrodite.
Once again and again. Well, it's going to be your night of reckoning. All the king's horses and all the king's men won't be able to put you back together again. If you do happen to win, well, you'll have to get through Spike and Basher first, and you aren't going to do that. But if you do, I would love 5 minutes with you in the ring. 5 minutes with you. I'd take him apart in 5 minutes. I'll rub his head in the mat. I'll pull out all his hair. I'll take him apart limb by.
I'll never forget whenever he got so mad at Dutch and he tore his own clothes off and then ran into the ring to try to fight him. That was such a crazy segment.
It'll be a real man against the king of wrestling, and you'll see.
No, is it really Boris Zukov? I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I remember Boris Zukov. He was in that tag team with Nikolai Volkov, right? The Bolsheviks, I think. Looks like a typical porn scene setup. It kind of does. A Legends Royal Rumble? I'd be down for that.
Who will win? It'll be J.D. Costello and the Mod Squad.
Ooh, that's a symbol of thing.
They could do it like they did the Gimmick Battle Royal. I think that's probably been like 20 years ago, right? Since the Gimmick Battle Royal. They could just do a fun thing like that to bring out a bunch of legends, or they don't really have to wrestle.
To come, my friend. If it happens, they'll have the belts and 5 minutes with you, all of it, Wednesday night in the Evansville Coliseum. You better be ready, JD. It's going to happen.
8 men in the ring right now in an 8-man tag team match.
Okay, hang on here. We got Falk, Tony Falk, channel favorite Tony Falk. Gaddafi, the Nazi, Von Bronner, and Pat Rose with the Florida coat against Jeff Jarrett, Billy Travis, Pat Tanaka, and former drug addict Paul Diamond. Hopefully TNA won't do anything, but sometimes they do get mad when I show Jeff Jarrett footage, so if the stream drops, I'll fast forward or whatever to hopefully bring it back up, but hopefully that won't happen.
Going to try to get 6 of them out of there. Just have 2 inside.
Yeah, I remember Private Jim Nelson.
The ring, the rest of them out on the apron. Referee Jerry Calhoun says ring the bell. And boy, I tell you what, every time we've had an 8-man tag team match, we have had some action here on.
Like if you're not caught up on the current storylines, whenever earlier Rip Rogers said that he came into the territory and beat a drug addict, it was former drug addict Paul Diamond.
Championship Wrestling. In there right now, it's Pat Tanaka, the young man out of Hawaii, going against Pat Rose out of Pensacola, Florida. Pat Rose, snapped down.
I like that they're chanting USA because Pat Tanaka's in the ring.
Face-to-face confrontation there.
No relation to Muammar Gaddafi, only a spiritual connection.
Tanaka not backing up from him. Pat Rose shoved him into the ropes, but Tanaka comes.
I could be wrong, but I really don't think that the Gaddafi in this is a Libyan, but I could be wrong.
Off. He goes over. Pat Rose leads. Then is greeted by a drop by Pat Tanaka and another one. Pat Rose, boy, that slowed him down. He's back in his corner. He's talking to his partners, Tony Falk, Abdul Gaddafi, and Baron von Bronner. Rose stays in there, though, against Pat Tanaka. Tanaka's partner's over in his corner, Paul Diamond, Billy Travis, and coming in right now, Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett against Pat Rose. Rose makes the tag, and here comes Tony Falk. Tony Falk against Jeff Jarrett.
Tony Falk, I think he's the favorite of the channel for sure. If you're not familiar with the storyline, he's never won a match. Somehow, though, the more he loses, the more over he gets. And at this point, he's really maybe right under Bill Dundee as like one of the top heels. He's never a threat, but he's like always involved in like storylines, and he's getting more and more entertaining, but he's just never winning any matches.
Falk has him backed into the corner. He let him have it.
What do you mean it would be a good gimmick? It is his gimmick. Like that's his whole gimmick in here. He cut like a trauma dump promo a few weeks ago about his drug addiction and all the stuff he did to get drug money, and then he got beat up by Rip Rogers. So I thought they were going to give him a big push or something, but they really haven't. He just keeps getting referred to as a drug addict, but he's a former drug addict.
The right fist, reversal by Jeff Jarrett. Tony Falk bouncing off the turnbuckles, and Jarrett hits him with a drop kick. Tony Falk on the mat. He's looking for the corner.
Yeah, kind of. Like TNA also did this gimmick, which might have been a Dutch thing since he, was heavy in Memphis, but they did it, I think, with David Young, where he kept losing and losing and losing, and he started losing to like Shark Boy and shit. And it wasn't nearly as entertaining, and it certainly wasn't as effective as it is here with Tony Falk, but I think Jim Cornette did it too, maybe with somebody in Smoky Mountain, but I can't remember. But maybe that's like a recurring thing in some of these territories, is to get one of your jobbers over by having him lose all the time. I like Pat Rose. I didn't at first, but it's just I'm investing more in some of the enhancement talent just because they're kind of funny and they get into these little quirky side stories.
He's in a neutral corner, though, not his own. Jarrett goes in there after him.
Like when J.D. Costello first found out he was the richest man alive, the first people he went out and signed were Tony Falk and Pat Rose, the two guys who had literally never won a match, which was like, storyline-wise makes no sense, but is like super entertaining to me.
He monkey flipped him out of there. Now Tony Falk.
Very horrible wits.
Looks to his partner, Abdul Gaddafi.
And Jesse Ventura be like, he's patting himself on the back, Monsoon, because nobody else will.
Step through there, and Falk says, get him. Gaddafi, the Libyan. He backed Jarrett into a corner, but it was Jarrett's corner. Paul Diamond stepped through after the tag. Diamond from Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada.
Oh, yeah, I forgot Gaddafi's in the match, so he's still around. I kind of like him. He has like a caveman, Hercules Hernandez vibe.
Gaddafi has him forced back to the rope. Drop kick by Paul Diamond and Billy Travis. And another one on Baron von Bronner, who stepped through there. Von Bronner upset with himself. Billy Travis will be staying in there now. It's Travis against Pat Rose.
They're like, hey, listen, we did our big high spots now. Let's cool them off. Bring in Pat Rose.
Billy Travis.
Why are they chanting USA at Pat Rose? This dude literally has the state of Florida on the back of his coat, and they're treating him like he's a foreigner? What's going on?
In the corner, Pat Rose. Knocking him with that right fist repeatedly. Here's Billy. Billy coming back out of there. Rose. Flipped across the way. Billy Travis. He uses a monkey flip. Boy, he threw him 3/4 of the way across the ring when he flipped him out of there. Travis made the tag on the man that tagged him, Paul Diamond. Diamond back in.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that rock and roll. I almost choked when I heard it.
And here comes Pat Tanaka back.
I always talk about it because I think about it anytime there's like crowd interaction, but I love to watch old Philadelphia Spectrum WWF shows because there's always the one dude, and one of my great like regrets in life is that I'll probably never know who this man is because it was so long ago. But like in the 70s, 80s, and a little bit into the 90s, but by the 90s that was like a different atmosphere, so there was very rarely like silent like it was in the earlier years. But like there was one guy who could always time it just perfect to throw in a boring no matter what was going on in the match. And he's always there. He does it like multiple times in every match, but for some reason this dude just has like the absolute best timing ever. And you can see the expressions on like the wrestlers' faces sometimes when he does it, and it like really is like it's like a dagger to him. But this guy, it's always at the Philadelphia Spectrum, mostly in like the late 70s and then the 80s. It's masterwork. Whoever you are, you're an excellent troll, and we appreciate you.
Tanaka flying across the ring, dropped down on Pat Rose. About 3.5.
Have I seen a show with Billy Travis getting arrested? No. like a real arrest?
Half minutes gone. First fall action, expiration of time match. The boot catches Pat Tanaka. Pat Rose has made a tag. Tony Falk.
Only Billy Travis and Ben Thorpe would allow themselves to get arrested live for content.
Falk in there. Tanaka also made a tag. It's Tony Falk against Billy Travis. Falk makes the tag on Gaddafi. Boy, they're in and out of there quick.
Child support, of course. Oh, thanks, my own prison. Do you guys are... I keep thinking this was like just the other day, but it wasn't. It's probably like maybe 20 years ago. It could be 15, 20 years ago. But Ricky Morton did a GoFundMe because he was facing imprisonment over child support. So he literally did a GoFundMe and asked the fans to pay his child support, and they did. I thought that was the funniest shit.
Let me tell you, Gaddafi dropped down on Billy Travis. He makes the tag. Falk coming back in. We passed the 4-minute mark in this one. Falk choking Billy Travis. Look out, everybody jumping in the ring. The double team out.
You'll always appreciate the guy who threw a plastic trash can in when Mick Foley said to give him a chair, and the whole crowd threw their chair. Oh, and he threw in a garbage can. I'm smoking sour banana sherbet, but I'm going to switch strains when we get to the second episode.
And Rose came off the top rope. The referee saw it. That's a disqualification. Top rope disqualification on Pat Rose. So Billy Travis, Paul Diamond, Jeff Jarrett, and Pat Tanaka are going to win that first fall.
Oh, great. We're back to these things. What are they? What do they call them? Time expiration matches where they say it's 2 out of 3 falls and then we get fucked and we never find anything out. They're like, oh, sorry, folks, the records of last week were lost. We can't tell you who won the match.
An 8-man, not tag, but an 8-man battle royal going on. We had 4 battles.
Oh, there's Von Bronner. He was doing the like, I don't know, the Heil thing. He was doing that a couple weeks ago on here, acting the fool.
All over the ring, Dave, at the same time. Absolutely hammer and tong right at the end, and the disqualification is...
They got a Nazi, a Libyan, a guy with Florida on the back of his silkscreen jacket, and then a guy who's never won a match.
All for, and the winners will be Tanaka, Diamond, Travis, and Jarrett. Good first ball of victory. I'll tell you what we're going to have to do. We will check our time for you, and then we're going to take time out.
We're not going to get the rest of this fucking match. Come on.
And be back in just a moment. Well, we ended up with all 8 of them in the ring. They were going at it, weren't they, partner?
We had some kind of action today. Let me tell you that from the opening match, Lawler and the Giant Hillbilly.
I got a couple new strains for this week. I got, they finally got Black Amber here, and what's the other one? Oh, I've still got the, I still have the Dirty Squirt. I was going to save that for like an e-girl stream.
In there getting the victory. Then we had a little victory dance by the Hillbilly when all that was over. Right on through the...
Ribera Steakhouse jacket. Oh, man. Like, when I was going to indie shows in, like, the mid-2000s, every indie guy, like, that was, like, they were completely driven to visit and get one of those jackets.
The split we took a look at today, the Landell Dundee split, and then that final 8-man match. What a day of championship wrestling.
We have got some action coming around championship wrestling. When it comes your way,
Dave Brown lit up. Look at him, drunk.
You want to see it. Dundee and Landell. We've got the Mod Squad against Lawler and the Giant Hillbilly. We've got all kind of things. Rip Rock.
Lance is totally carrying here. He's supposed to be doing this.
Rogers and Dutch Mantel got a thing going about the belts. Son of a gun, a bunch of it. We're looking forward to
son of a gun
seeing you back again next week with more of that championship wrestling. We hope maybe.
I've had headband cookies. I'm pretty sure. Or no, yes, I've had and I've also had. I think it's like something like strawberry headband or something like that.
You'll make it a point to join us and bring a friend. Until that time, for Dave Brown, Lance Russell saying bye-bye, everybody.
Look at he just sat there like a goon. All right, so now we're to June 7th, 1986. We're really moving through here. We're almost halfway through the year. I am gonna go switch strains, so I'll be right back. Hopefully I'll be back by belt.
Kick off another big day on championship wrestling. Good day today, Brother Dave, and we've got a big one coming up, haven't we, partner?
Big day is right. Listen to the folks that are going to be here today. This is just part of them. The Beach Boys will be here. Our first look at them. We'll have the Memphis Vice in here today. Tracy Smothers, Bill Dundee will be here. Joe LeDuc, Paul Diamond, the Canadian Connection, Dutch Mantel, and Jeff Jarrett. They'll be part of an 8-man tag team match later today. In addition to that, we will have the Mod Squad. Billy Travis will be here, and the return of...
All right, get ready for this.
Dan and Steve, the fabulous one.
Oh, yeah! By God, you mean all on one show right here today? Yeah. I can't hardly believe it. I tell you what we'd better do, stop talking and get on with it. We got all those folks here. We're going to be back with action in the ring in just a moment.
I just saw the comment, nobody drank like Gordon Soley. That could be true. Oh my gosh. All right, now I switched over. I went and got the Black Amber weed. Oh my God, hold on. Before the Beach Boys come out, I want to be like fully dialed in for that. But on Local Vibes last night too, Thick Jim and I got mad at me, and he went on a big rant about how I was trying to milk him like a cow, and that he thought that I was in there to like clip farm him or or whatever. But he went on like a really funny rant of like accusing me of being like a lolcow farmer, and I was trying to like milk him for content. How's Black Amber? I like it. It was pretty good. Hold on, I got one strain that smelled really funky. Let me see if it's this one. No, I mean, I like it. It's not like I think it's like really strong, but it doesn't have any really like unique like traits to it. Like Bio Jesus is like heavily sedative. This is just like it's just like a strong high. It's not energetic. It's not motivating, but it's also not like, it's not like an anchor either. What's up, Dave's channel? Look at this crew, man. Wow. Oh man, this is like reminds me of like the Sandman's original gimmick.
Okay, we're off and running, ready to go with that opening down in there. By golly, coming through the door, and I tell you, a nice reception for the folks gathered for championship wrestling. A brand new team of the Beach Boys. David, how about the official introductions here?
All right, one full 10-minute time limit.
You got to smoke out with Marty Jannetty? That's amazing. Are you comfortable saying what you smoked? Because you never know with Marty.
Match coming up across the ring from him at a total weight of 416 pounds. We got Keith Eric and the Inferno. And at 438 pounds, wrestling out of California, it is the Beach Boys, Jon Stewart and Van Horn, right?
Van Horn.
Van Horn. Oh,
yes,
a double Van.
Double
sorry
Van
about that.
Yes, sir.
Van Horn.
And as we look at them, the one on the left is Jon Stewart. The one on the right is Van Horn. And we are ready just about for the action. We'll do it. Bell time. And here we go. We'll get a chance to see the Beach Boys in action for the very first time.
Boy, the Beach Boys. Wow.
Pardon me. Van Horn originally is from Memphis. Jon Stewart originally from Chicago. Right. And their adopted home is California. That's where they wrestle out of, is California. Ooh.
Well, we're based out of California, but we live and work in Memphis.
All right. Look at here.
Nice drop kick.
In the air. And down goes Keith Eric. A lot of action already out of Van Horn, one of the Beach Boys. And
all right, I'm going to see how the Black Amber plays with the sour banana sherbet? Yeah.
His partner, Jon Stewart, over in the corner.
Jon Stewart, little known, did work in Memphis before his run on Comedy Central. No, I don't think it's the same guy. I know it's not, but
Keith Eric's partner, he needs to.
It almost seems like it would be, because it seems like there's always that like people that you did, like everyone worked in Memphis, so like all kinds of people that like you wouldn't expect, but definitely not Jon Stewart, unfortunately.
Be a little closer to the Inferno. Winding the arm up. There's a tag on Stewart. Stewart through. And Stewart crotches him, takes him straight in the air, slams Keith Eric down. And as of this moment, the Inferno has not been in there yet. Flying head scissors, and Stewart takes him back towards the center of the ring. He's with that arm.
Why did that guy let him do that to his partner? I would have grabbed him. Jim Cornette would be very upset about that.
Arm turned it backward. Went underneath and popped him over.
I mean, Brian, if a motherfucker rolls up in my corner and tries to throw my partner, I'm going to grab the motherfucker.
Over there. Beach Boys, first look at them as they're going against Keith Eric and the Inferno coming in. Hip toss greets the Inferno. Likewise, 3 in a row is down on the deck is the Inferno. There's the tag. Van Horn coming back.
Here's the real question. Why hasn't Mattel made figures of the Beach Boys?
Back in, holding the Inferno and dropping in. There's that kind of a round kick and done in a very quick way. In the air as the Inferno drops straight down. Referee Jerry Calhoun. Van Horn was going to take him over into a pin.
Wait, who commented that's a lot of testicular masculinity right there? What? How did I miss that comment?
And the Inferno came right back up. Puts him down on the deck. I thought I heard on that very first shot something happened.
A Kevin Dunn action figure would be hilarious. Oh my God. At first I thought you were going to say Kevin Sullivan. I'd buy a Kevin Sullivan wrestling figure, especially if they made him like the actual like way that if he looked the way that he looks, like his proportions, if he was like a little like short like pot belly version of him, I would buy that figure.
Under the ropes, I believe we lost.
Yeah, I did too. I think we lost a little cord under there.
And like he could have like an alternate head with like that crazy face paint.
Double drop kick, and the Inferno is down. There's a cover. 1, 2, 3.
All right, the Beach Boys come up with a victory here. And their first appearance on Championship Wrestling, 2 minutes, 44 seconds of time.
A figure of me.
Well, you got your first one, by golly. Van and John, we just told the folks that we were looking at a brand new team, and we're delighted. You guys really got a lot of motion going in there, John.
Well, I'll tell you, man, the key basic about wrestling is fast motion in the ring. You know, when we met at Malibu Beach, we looked all over the world for the best tag team competition, and it's right here. You got the Mod Squad, you got Lawler and the Hillbilly, you got Rogers and Bonko, you got...
That seemed like really weird timing. Like he was trying to distract people from the fact that they had met in Malibu. Like that was kind of weird.
Everybody, and we're looking for tag team competition, and we're looking for those world straps.
Take a lot of it, Van.
Yeah.
I think they made a Rikishi, actually. I'm sure they have.
So we're just glad to be here in this area, you know. We've been around, we came through towns and towns. We've adopted...
Hey, man, we've come around from everywhere, man. I'm real tired.
California's a home, took up a little bit of a new show. We're just glad to be here, Mr.
Okay, the Beach Boys are over with me. This guy is one of my new all-time favorites. I love his promo voice. I think it's fantastic.
See a lot of beautiful women out here. Woo! We're glad we're here today. Good to see you all.
Okay.
We're the place with the beautiful women on. We're gonna look.
You got that right for a fact. John Stewart, Van Horn.
His name is Van Horn. What a great interview. That was amazing. Listen here, you son of a bitch. I'm coming down there and I'm gonna whip your ass, boy.
The Beach Boys, and we'll be seeing a whole lot more of them. Okay, time for us to hit back to the ring, Davey. Let's not take a break, and we'll just go right to the ring.
Come on, be honest. Whether you liked what he did or not, don't you want to see what the hell he's gonna say next time? I mean, come on.
Another bout coming up here as we'll be looking at the Memphis Vice.
Yeah, exactly. It's not really flattering to make him come over. Like, he could have taken a moment just to let him gather himself, but like, yeah. Dude, what a great... This show is already lit. We're going straight from the Beach Boys to Memphis Vice.
It's all about, baby. We're going to send these boys packing, you understand?
That's a real fine excuse for a human being for wrestlers, the Beach Boys. That is great.
Hey, listen, fellas, let's keep the music turned all the way up, all the way through the interview.
They got to win.
They got to win. They look like pump. We're going to have these boys out of here before you know it, boy.
Big Lou, Jerry Bryant, they've got a few words to say about our first folks, the Beach Boys in here, David.
They are going against...
Okay, here we go. Now, I'm glad. I think this might be a good match. I'm a big fan of Garmin and Trailer. I think they're good wrestlers. And they're in the Billy Jack Haynes attire still.
A group of guys out of Mississippi, Jerry Garmin and Benny Trailer. They step up in the ring, right?
Jimmy Hart, he was a little bit maybe deeper than Jimmy Hart, but similar vibe to me.
Right now, Lou Winston and Jerry Bryant, the Memphis Vice.
Air date, this is June 7th, 1986, and we watched the Evansville, Indiana broadcasts.
One fall, 10-minute time limit match. Referee Jerry Calhoun will be trying to keep them straight in there. Here we go. Yeah. It's going to be Jerry Bryant.
They should chant USA now, because we don't know where any of these people are from.
Starting against Benny Trailer.
And looking at the back of the wrestling attire on Bryant.
Awesome.
And Jerry has on
totally,
his... Totally.
Yeah, totally and awesome there. Oh, Bryant, maybe not feeling so totally right now.
I like that. I like when the heel tag team partner consoles the other guy.
Maybe totally with a headache after being bounced around the ring here by Benny Trailer.
You know, Benny...
Oh, you know what? This is kind of maybe like a little bit of a deep cut lore, attention was drawn to the fact by Lance Russell that Memphis Vice had tights on that said "totally awesome" on them, and both of the guys, it said "totally awesome" on the same way, and now they have new tights where one says "totally" and one says "awesome." Lance Russell, puppet master.
And Jerry, they haven't got the world's greatest record, but I've always liked that team. They're a good tag team. They are rough and they can wrestle too.
He's like, listen, these guys are the shits. They literally never win, but I like them.
Power slam by Jerry Bryant. Benny Trailer finds himself on the mat. Yeah, Trailer and Garmin have gone against some of the toughest competition available. And it's going against a couple of pretty rugged guys right here. And Bryant and Lou Winston. Big Lou. Powers.
Wait, who was bad-mouthing Big Lou earlier? Who said Big Lou was awful waffles?
Benny into the rope.
Woo. Lou is just so much bigger than either Trailer or Garmin, too. Lou will go at least 250.
I like Lou. I like Big Lou as a character. I don't care for Memphis Vice as an in-ring team. I was kind of hoping that the Trailer and Garmin could carry him a little bit.
Lou steps out. Jerry Bryant is in. Trailer runs into a big clothesline.
Budget Butch Reed, exactly.
By Jerry Bryant. Bryant picking him up.
Bryant's an interesting combination. The Beach Boys are talking about speed and motion. Here's a guy that's made a career out of speed. One of the faster wrestlers around. Look at here. 2, 3.
Yeah, agreed. I feel like Memphis Vice is not really super skilled in ring. I mean, I haven't seen him do anything terrible, but they're also completely nondescript, and I'm their target audience because I like this corny. I like these corny gimmicks.
Big Lou got him.
Big Lou.
I love the interaction with the crowd. I just wish they were I wish the in-ring was better.
Talk to the crowd about it too. 1 minute, 29.
This gimmick went nowhere.
9 seconds to time. The victory for the Memphis Vice.
Thanks, Flea Pack.
You really enjoy that. Jerry Bryant, totally, and Big Lou Winston, awesome. Come up with a victory in there. We're going to take time out. Back with...
Is Big Lou Winston still alive? Maybe we could get him to be a guest.
More of that big action. And remember, the Fabs are here today. Evansville Coliseum coming up Wednesday night. Boy, I'm going to tell you what, a variety of matches, and you're looking at a guy that's going to be involved in one. Okay, Joe.
Oh, shit. Here we go. Is he going to cut himself with an axe again?
Save it for Wednesday night. That's when Joe LeDuc will be involved in a big match with Paul Diamond.
The people know that Joe LeDuc's going to be there. The people know that Joe LeDuc does.
Hey, Joe Shabatoni, nice to see you back. Your thoughts on Ben offering Chill Force his YouTube channels after meeting him for 5 minutes? I mean, that's up to them. Whatever they think is going to work. I mean, I thought it was an interesting, like, seeing him interact with the chat was interesting. Like, I'd like to see him at least come back just for that aspect. I felt like the chat was kind of like the Velociraptors. They keep like trying. They want to get to him, but he's so far. I thought he was doing pretty well. So I'd like to see him come back and face the heat again.
Does what he says he does. Paul Diamond, I told you I make you look like a man.
Did you say? Are you saying that you're surprised Mel Phillips didn't contact the Beach Boys because they wrestle barefoot?
You do look like a man now with short hair, even though if you're...
Well, I mean, aren't they kind of... I mean, are we still operating under the assumption that they're on a time schedule, or have we accepted that that's just another kayfabe thing?
But don't go crying to your mama and say, oh, Joe LeDuc cut my hair. You want to slap some people around, just show up Wednesday night in Evansville and try me, brother.
That's what it's going to be all about, Joe. I'll tell you that for a fact, as well as a handicap match. You're going to have the chance to see the giant hillbilly, Jerry the King Lawler, in there against
this outfit.
Spike and Basher, the Mod Squad, and J.D. Costello.
That's exactly right, Lance Russell. This is the moment I've been waiting for. This just tickles me to death. I'm going to do two things, and that's all I'm going to tell you about. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to body slam the giant blob. Then I'm going to get up on that second rope and come down with the fist on Jerry Lawler. And
Wow. So he's going to body slam giant hillbilly, and then he's going to beat Jerry Lawler. All right.
It's all going to be done and over with.
Oh, I've got to see that Wednesday night in Evansville.
Hey, he's going to do it. He's going to do it, and there's somebody else going to do it. Me. They're going to put the barbed wire up, Landell, because I'm sick of chasing you. I'm sick of looking at you at Baghdaddy. Now you go around and tell all them little girls, all them pretty blondes out there how pretty you are. Well, I'm going to take that pretty face of yours, Jack, and rub it right down that wire. Yeah, that's what you think you are, Jack. You think you're pretty. Well, I'm better looking than you. I can sing better than you, dance better than you, fight better than you, wrestle better than you. Oh.
See, Jedi Rich, if you're watching this is the attitude you should have. You shouldn't be on there saying you think Ben Thorpe is better looking than you. You should be saying, I'm better looking than him. I'm a better singer than him. I'm a better musician than him. And then at the end you can be like, and I'm a better philosopher than him. You got to take this attitude, Rich. You got to bring some heat out.
Oh, and I know you're going to say you can. Well, that's why we're having the match, buddy. That's why we're putting up the barbed wire, so none of your geeky friends can come down and help you, and you can't.
Oh, J.D. Costello visually and storyline-wise, too, is totally a bite off of Jim Cornette. Like, he got money from his mom and all that, the gaudy outfits.
And run, Daddy. So if you can take this pretty face, put it along the wire, you do it. But I'm going to guarantee you, that's what's happening to you, boy.
Well, here he is.
Oh, I like Dundee all around. I think in the ring he's pretty capable, especially just getting by like on his psychology. I think he could do pretty well, but I love his crowd interaction. I think he's got like his timing and shit is great. His look cracks me up, but I think his promos are great. He's got so much like you believe it. Like he's got a lot of passion.
Is the guy that got a victory over Buddy Landell in kind of an interesting...
His dander is up again, yes.
...fashion, but he's not done with Landell by a long shot, or maybe vice versa.
Lance, we're getting down to all the tin tacks now, why it all came about, why Buddy Landell doesn't
You're going Ryder 666 style from now on, Randy?
Want to be my partner. But before we get into this, man, I'm telling you, all you young ladies out there, get on your telephone and call somebody and tell them the superstar's standing out here, because we have looked at nothing but boys. We have looked at nothing like the Beach Boys. I ain't taking nothing of them. They're cute. I hope I...
No, I haven't seen anything like recently Memphis-wise.
I get to wrestle them one day so I can beat their brains in. They're a good, what do you call them, young team coming into the business. That's fine, guys. You look very nice in your little boxer shorts or whatever. But when you want to get tired with fooling with a man...
Yes, Australian Elvis literally Australian Elvis impersonator. He's basically just like an Australian honky-tonk man, but they don't they acknowledge the fact that he is an Elvis impersonator at times, but it's not like a core part of the way that he's like presented storyline wise. So like he pretty much is just like a more casual honky tonk man, Australian honky tonk man.
And look up the superstar. Now, getting back to what my ex-partner. Hey, get the camera down here, Daddy. This is what it's all about. Budrow, it took me a long time, Jack. It took me a long time, Daddy, to figure
Man, do you hear those women when he popped that coat open?
this out. Now, I slapped him before. I slapped Mantel, I've slapped Lawler, slapped them all, and every time they would call up on the telephone.
He literally slapped Lance Russell.
And they would say, Bill, you was right. And I expected the same thing from you, Landell, but it wasn't me you was...
Honky Tonk Man stole his gimmick. Is that like a real thing that's talked about? We might have to, if I can find a shoot interview that discusses that, maybe we watch that over on Twitch sometime.
Mad at? You ain't really mad at anybody. You want this belt, Jack. You couldn't
You could hear the rats.
stand it. We'd drive up and down in your Mercedes. I'd be in the back asleep, and he'd wear my belt. I'd wake up and Buddy'd have my belt on. I'd say, Buddy, what do you do with my belt, boy? He says, I just want to be as great as you, Bill. I just want to be as great as you. Let me wear the belt. So I let him wear it. And then when I slapped him because Jerry Lawler beat him.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that. I think on a shoot interview maybe of Honky Tonk Man talking about punk rock Wayne Ferris. And he's like, well, you know, that just made more sense for my personality. I'm like, what about you in any way at any point in your life was ever punk rock, bro? Oh, wow, that's kind of neat. I'll have to check that out then if it's got like all the bunch of the old legends. Love Dr. Tom. I remember when he was in the Heavenly Bodies, and through the entire interview, he was just like constantly like primping and fluffing his hair.
He gets mad, but you wasn't mad at me, Budrow. Come on, let's tell all the people the truth. Jack, you want to be the Southern champion. You really believe you're Ric Flair. You think you're the reincarnation of Flair.
You talk like this to this day. It's great energy. You like the talk this guy's firing off. I can see it, King. You'd be a great yapper type wrestler.
No, Daddy, you couldn't lace Ric Flair's boots, and you can't do mine. Now, I'm going to tell you something. We're going to crawl in that ring with that barbed wire. And all you rednecks and all you hicks out there know what barbed wire is, because that's what you got around your fence. I got me a redwood fence, Jack, 7 feet high. You got barbed wire, and I don't like barbed wire. I got a gate on my fence, and I walked through it to the swimming pool.
Like, he gets it. Like, he really gets it. And whether you think he's like his like that you think he's like believable or whatever, like he makes you believe because he believes it. Like, he's projecting like this is Bill Dundee. There's nothing else to this guy except like we're seeing Bill Dundee.
Well, I'm going to tell you something, Budrow.
That's why I like Boyd, because you get to see people that are just regular people. They're not playing a character. They're not doing like Tina D or Kid Behind the Camera. They're like real people that are delivering these like impassioned like monologues or live streams and stuff. And when you get those like when Savvy Guy was talking about all he was looking to do was blast off, and he went on that great rant. Like, that's how I feel like when Bill Dundee does this kind of rant. Like, those kind of moments give me that same like this is like a good promo mindset when I'm watching even like IRL streamers.
You come out here every week and you tell people how pretty you are, and I'm not selling you short. You ain't a bad looking guy, but I'm the prettiest dude around, Jack. And I don't want this face all masked up. I don't want nobody running into the barbed wire, and especially you. And for this belt, Daddy, I'll do anything it takes. If you don't believe me, ask Jerry Lawler. Jerry Lawler told everybody Bill Dundee will never win this belt. Zoom in down here, man. Who's wearing it? Me, the superstar. And he's going to wear it for a long...
Like when Ben Thorpe would go into a VC and cut promos on like the teacher of his domestic violence courses, and he would like call him out by name and like list out how the ways that he was sucked. It was terrible. Like, it feels like wrestling promos, because it's just like people delivering direct like personal antagonization at others, but it's like Ben yelling at a domestic violence course teacher.
One time to come, Landell, and I'm just going to tell you something, Lancer. Buddy, you can't...
Hey, Randy. Hey, it's me. Yeah, Bill Dundee and Jamie Dundee both were so good on Jerry Springer. He was born Irish, immigrated to Australia, then to Memphis. Wow, that's quite a journey. The rats are ratting indeed.
Can't beat me, Budrow. You can't beat me. Now, if you want to walk down to the ringside and say, I don't want to get in the ring with you, superstar, you just keep the belt and you want to be my partner, hey, I'll take you back, Daddy. I ain't got no hard feelings against you, Budrow. But no, you ain't going to do that. You're going to get in there and try and prove everybody how tough you are. Well, you can't take it, Landell. I'm going to rub your face all over that wire.
Billy, there will be nobody coming in. No J.D. Costello or anybody else coming in the ring with that barbed wire.
I never asked J.D. Costello.
I was so, Lancer, I was so bummed. I was like, man, I hope I don't get like permafucked on live streaming, and because I have such a great Boit story that I want to cover about a guy that's having a feud with his coffee machine.
Costello fight my battles. I don't even like J.D. Costello. Now, this kid in the ring here is going to get greatness thrust upon him, because just to get beat by the superstar makes you great.
We hear it from the superstar, Bill Dundee. Okay, Dave, let's go to the ring and the action.
Going to be a one-fall match coming up here.
Oh my gosh, Tracy Smothers, yes. If you don't familiar with Tracy Smothers, he was a territory wrestler, and then I think probably his highest profile thing, he was Freddie Joe Floyd in the WWF, and he was, I forget what his tag team name was in WCW, but the Southern Boys or something like that. But like he never really like made it. But he was on ECW as part of the Full-Blooded Italians. But like for me, I saw him live a lot when he was working heel in the mid 2000s, and like he could literally get like an audience of marks to like be right on the edge of rioting. He just said the funniest shit and did the craziest stuff. He was like such a great heel, but it seems like most of his career he was like just like a Southern baby face. But I just think he's one of the best heels of all time. It just was like in a part of his career that not a lot of people have seen.
As Dundee removes the warm-up jacket.
Tracy about to do the JOB. Yeah, absolutely.
Southern heavyweight belt will be...
Look at that jacket.
Next to come out of the ring. Facing Tracy Smothers. Tracy out of Springfield, Tennessee.
Yeah, the Young Pistols. Didn't they have like were they the ones that wore like the kind of Civil War-esque attire?
Dundee against Smothers. Tracy Smothers. Nice takedown. Dundee immediately jumps to his feet and claims he had his hair pulled. Not so.
Like, I've been at multiple shows where Tracy Smothers would, like, stop the match and get on the microphone and be like, he said that he was hearing people in the crowd saying that Tracy sucks, and he would just be like, if one more person says Tracy sucks, ultra mega mass homicide, everybody dies. So it's just like completely threatens to murder everyone in the crowd if there's even a single one more Tracy sucks chant.
Tracy Smothers waiting for Dundee.
Like if he would bump into somebody or something, or kick their drink over or something, if they were heckling him, they would say they were like, I remember one guy said he was going to sue him, and Tracy looked at him and he was like, you can't afford a lawyer.
To get back in the ring.
Those shows had like literally nothing between you and the wrestlers. Like there was no barricade. There was no like little like even like a yarn rope like some places have. Like those matches and those shows had like no barriers whatsoever.
There's some hair pulling for you by Dundee. Dundee yanks Smothers down to the mat. Oh. First the fist, then the chop by Dundee. Smothers' head slammed into the turnbuckle.
And he got to a point in his career where he put on, he had put on some weight, so he didn't feel comfortable like wrestling with his shirt off. So when they interviewed him about it in the ring, the crowd would like heckle him about it, you know? And he would tell the ring announcer that he couldn't take his shirt off because if he did, the divorce rate in the county would double immediately. And then like the entire crowd would just start shitting on him like nonstop right after that.
Dundee really going to work with that right hand. Dundee let him have it again. Caught him with a fist.
Yeah, I liked him in Smoky Mountain. It was funny because Tracy Smothers was playing like a Confederate character, and his biggest feud in Smoky Mountain was against a guy called Dirty White Boy. So it was Dirty White Boy against like a Confederate soldier, which is like exactly what you would expect from Smoky Mountain wrestling.
Down is 1, 2. Smothers kicks out of it at the 2 count. Dundee.
You used to watch it every Saturday morning. That would have been amazing. Like, I got to watch WWF, but it wasn't the same because it wasn't like a studio show like this with like superstars. You couldn't really keep up on the storylines. You'd have to be filled in during the matches and shit like that because like the storylines were spread out over shows that maybe you didn't get on your provider.
Using that right hand time after time.
Yeah, Tony Anthony, he was the plumber. What a complete waste. Like, I get that Vince was never going to push a guy that looked like Tony Anthony, but he was great on the mic. He had that one promo in Smoky Mountain where he just pulled a gun out, like an actual gun out in the middle of the promo. Like, he had great feuds. I thought he was fantastic in Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Like, I bought him as being like basically like an Undertaker level character. Like, it was really like, if you beat Dirty White Boy, it was impressive. But then anywhere else but Smoky Mountain, he was just kind of a jobber. But that kind of sucked. What really got me in on him, though, was he was managed by this old school wrestler named Ron Wright. And Ron Wright was in a wheelchair, but it was like fake. So he would cheat and then like hide behind the fact that he was in a wheelchair for the reason that he couldn't have interfered because he's stuck in the wheelchair. But that Ron Wright stuff was so good, and like feuding with Bullet Bob Armstrong. It was stuff that like, it was making the best out of like the people that couldn't really, weren't really going to be in WWF at the time, but it was like they were able to make really great like storylines out of from those people.
Tracy Smothers back in the corner.
But we can't watch it on here because it's WWE and they'll take it down, which sucks because I'd love to do like a full Smoky Mountain watch through. Yeah, Ron Wright in Smoky Mountain, and he's just a manager. It's so good. He's pissing people off because he's like, "Oh, I'm just trying to help him make some money because I need money for my medicine for all my disabilities." And like the crowd would boo him, and then like it was just funny to see the crowd like booing this guy in a wheelchair that just wants his medication money.
Face lock by Dundee. It's choking by Dundee back on the rope. Smothers knocked him all the way across the ring.
I'm a big Coco Beware fan. I love Coco.
Right hand on his own.
I saw it like my only real exposure to him in Memphis, besides a few matches I've seen over the years. But he was only in here for a couple episodes, but he just like beat this jobber, like just beat him, beat the brakes off of him. It was like a brutal match.
Oh, there's a cover, 2. A foot on the bottom rope there. Dundee had his foot hung over the bottom rope. That's what stopped the count. Smothers really let him have it with an upper arm just as Dundee was coming off the rope.
I mean, I'd be open to it for sure. I mean, just depending on like how, if the people who have the rights to it or whatever are like actively policing it.
Ooh, Dundee set himself and hit him with a fist. Counts 2 and 3. Smothers trying his best to break out of it, but couldn't do it as Dundee was able to hold it.
Yeah, it was somewhere in 1986 Memphis, either that or they showed a clip, I can't remember, but yeah, he like really brutalized the guy. It was nasty.
The shoulders down for the 3 count. 2 minutes, 46 seconds of time.
Tracy telling the referee, Jerry.
Oh, the new Jack OJ thing, amazing. We watched that. We watched it at the end of one of these streams, but that is one of my favorite interviews of all time.
Calhoun, he was using tights. That was the way he was able to hold him up there for the 3 count. The superstar comes down with a victory as
I think I've watched some of the OVW from Kentuckiana Classics.
Tracy Smothers returning to the area after a period out in the Earl. It belongs to you. I saw the victory. Tracy Smothers comes back, has to go against a rugged guy, and Bill Dundee, and Billy's the winner. We're going to take time out. Be back in just a moment.
I think it's cool that guy in a wheelchair has been at like the last. I don't know if they taped a bunch of these at one time or not. They might have, but I like that guy's been to like a few weeks in a row now. That'd be pretty cool. You don't think, at least I don't think of a lot of stuff back in this era as being like handicap accessible.
Time, my friend, to tell you about the action coming up in the near future. Thursday, June the 26th, Clarksville, Tennessee at the Northwest High School, sponsored by...
Yeah, in that promo, he was like, I don't know if it was the same one or if it was an earlier promo, but he said something like getting heat here is like losing a match. Getting heat where I'm from is setting someone on fire. Like, it was just so crazy, especially in Smoky Mountain, which was kind of I think it's great booking and it's a great promotion, but it is kind of like, it has that a little bit of that Memphis corniness to it. So seeing him cut that like super real promo just was amazing.
By the Hilldale Civitan Club and Northwest High School. Action coming your way right there in Clarksville on June the 21st. Tuesday, July the 1st, Vincennes, Indiana at the Vincennes University Complex. We'll have more on that as we get a little closer to it. Now, here's the entire card coming up Wednesday night, and it is a dandy. Take a listen to this wild action. Baron von Braun will be going against Diesel Dan Styles in the opening bout. Strong Machine against Yamamoto. Jeff Jarrett will be facing the Hunter Eagle. It'll be the Beach Boys going against the Nightmares. A revenge match with Joe LeDuc facing Paul Diamond. Handicap with Lawler and the Giant Hillbilly against JD and the Mod Squad. And
oh, thanks, Dave's channel. I appreciate that. You grew up in this crazy business, third generational. Wow, in Tampa. That whole New Jack's, that whole thing's wild. We watched the Dark Side of the Ring. I think it was an official one, but it might have been like a fan documentary. But it went really in depth on New Jack, and that was I was pretty familiar with a lot of the stuff, but I didn't know he had an era where he was bringing like those crazy knives and shit down to the ring. And then I remember the Gypsy Joe thing. That was pretty wild too.
And then that final bout, ring completely encased in barbed wire, Buddy Landell, Bill Dundee. It's going to be some going on Wednesday night. You be there. 8-man.
Hold on here. We got Joe LeDuc. Let's do it in the proper order. We got Von Bronner, Rose, the fake Fargo. I don't know which Hunter it is. Against Joe LeDuc, Dutch Mantel, Jeff Jarrett, and former drug addict Paul Diamond.
And tag coming up right here as we're looking at one half of this tag match.
This fake Fargo guy, it's corny as hell, but I think he's actually kind of entertaining.
And the other half coming in right now, the Dutchman, Jeff Jarrett. And one half of the Canadian connection, Paul Diamond. I don't know where Big Joe is.
No, Jerry Jarrett earlier this year cut in Memphis in '86, cut a promo, a heartfelt promo from a recliner about how he was out of the business, but he was sending his son in to handle things. And again, TNA for some reason has a hard on for taking my streams down. So if if something happens here, I'll fast forward through the Jeff Jarrett stuff, but hopefully it won't. But they've taken it down a few times just for showing Jeff Jarrett at all.
May end up being a handicap match here because at this moment, Leduc is not out there. I don't know, Dave. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 8-man here.
No, here comes Joe.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, okay. Here we go.
This one's going to be one fall, 10-minute time limit, and every time you have an 8-man tag team match, you got a lot of folks around the ring and often in the ring. Let's see who's going to start for which team. Looks like is it going to be the fabulous, by his own description, Danny Fargo against Jeff Jarrett.
I mean, he's getting over with me. He's so like ridiculous that it's working.
That's the way it's going to start.
Mantel's wife had to have a hair fetish. Imagine, you think he gets like a bikini trim or anything?
I was thinking about this the other night. I saw Jeff in the ring.
His wife is a lawnmower. Yeah, I saw that. He wants a run with the AEW title. I don't see why they shouldn't do it. I mean, I don't really think like. I think it does more good for them if they were to do that. I think they would get a lot of positive publicity and a lot of like coverage over it, like this great end to this, historic career, rather than like have him make it there and then like lose to Swerve Strickland or something. Like I don't think that would have the same like gravity.
Boy, I'll tell you, when you get thrown into the middle of professional wrestling, you grow up in a hurry.
You have to.
Boy, do you get experience in a hurry.
Yeah, I mean, I knew with like the Mid-South there was a chance they would take it down, and they did. Like they own that footage, but like WWE does, but like TNA taking it down because there's a clip of Jeff Jarrett like from 1986. They don't own the rights to this. But the issue is that some of this footage is part of like flashbacks that TNA used, and so the system recognizes those clips as being owned by Anthem versus like being part of the Memphis show, if that makes sense.
Jeff backing Fargo into a corner again. Did it once before. Fargo steps out of there.
I feel like Dutch is really leaning into the drama now and getting like mentioned and back and forth stuff versus like it used to not be that way, but then he would have like one or two people that he kind of feuded with. Like there was a lot of like, I like his stuff with Ric Flair because that's natural. You can tell that he doesn't really care for him, but it feels like they're trying to like kind of push for engagement or whatever. And I mean, I guess it might get more views or whatever, but I do think it kind of lessens the experience a little bit.
There with a strut.
Von Bronner, pardon me, go ahead.
He's back to his corner for the tag on Pat Rose. Paul Diamond coming in. Diamond taking over from Jeff Jarrett. Diamond out of Thunder Bay, Ontario.
Rose takes him down. Pat was...
Dutch is bitter. Sometimes he seems really upbeat and positive, and then sometimes he does seem like a complete downer.
Looking like, or Paul rather, was looking like his hair was pulled. I didn't see it. Very well could have, because he had that top wrist lock on him.
I did see that, Randy.
It may be difficult for us to see some of these moves because Baron von Bronner is standing right between us and the action.
Yeah.
There was a cover by Dutch Mantel on Pat Rose. Couldn't make it stick for a 3 count. Big Joe LeDuc will be coming in. French Canadian, 286 pounds, I think it is he weighs.
Pat Rose just got all 286 of it behind that chop, and then he decks him, the referee saying, come on, quit pulling the hair, quit punching, quit doing a lot of lists for Joe.
Joe just says okay and goes right ahead. Wow.
But yeah, I think the Hulk Hogan thing, I think people are twisting it to like whatever reason they're personally mad at him about. And I don't think it's so much that. I think it's just that so many people have realized what just like an asshole he is. And like, there's so many of those people who are like, I'm booing him because, you know, of the politics, or I'm booing him because I don't like them advertising his beer on the mat, or I don't like that he, you know, held down Billy Kidman, whatever. That like, it's just a complete, like, the overlap of people who like wrestling and people who hate Hulk Hogan is now like a perfect circle. So he's just getting like nuclear melted. But I don't think it's so much. I don't really think it's so much his politics, because the Undertaker has the exact same politics. He just approaches it from a different perspective. So I don't think it was like solely his politics. I just think it's like people are just kind of over Hulk Hogan, which I mean I understand. I think it was probably because he lied about he misrepresented the size of his penis, and he had to come clean about that in court. And once you break trust on something like that, I mean, it's hard for a community to welcome somebody back.
Joe said we're going to be the Canadian connection.
Yes, Undertaker, I mean, I'm sure their politics are extremely similar. So, like, if it was just that, they would have booed. And let's be real, whatever anybody's personal politics are, I think pro wrestling probably leans pretty conservative and pretty, like, by a pretty strong percentage, I would think. So I don't really think that was really played into it that much. I just think they just are tied, that Hulk Hogan's like they see him as a bozo, and they wanted to let him know. I saw that they were talking about maybe they were going to have another wrestler promote the beer. And I'm like, that's going to be so much worse. You're asking somebody else to start taking that heat for Hogan, because just the presence of his beer being advertised is going to piss people off. So that's like a complete no-win situation to me. He was walking around like an orangutan.
Whatever he says, that's all right with me. He and Paul Diamond made their debut last week, won their first match. Jeff Jarrett back in with Pat Rose.
I don't think you're too far off with that, because do you remember when he said that he had like the worst dream he had ever had, and that dream was that he and everyone he loved were reincarnated as a black family? Like, that was Hulk Hogan's worst nightmare. Like, and he like, not just like him, but like his entire family. Like, I just thought that was the weirdest thing to even think about, but then to let alone like share out into the world, like, for some reason. Get Ric Flair to represent Hulk Hogan's beer company. Oh yeah, Hogan completely took down Gawker. In an amazing pro wrestling way, though, he really had nothing to do with it. It was just someone who was mad at Gawker was willing to prop up Hulk Hogan to make sure he won the lawsuit, which is that's good storytelling.
Good move. Look at that Jarrett, how quick he's up. Boy, I'll tell you, you can learn a lot of things, but athletic ability you can't learn. It just comes natural. You've either got it or you don't have it.
It's that quick and immediate reaction that Jeff has is just phenomenal.
Danny Fargo in, standing side headlock.
Somewhere out there, there's footage of me on an episode of Thursday Thunder. I don't remember when it is, but I'm in the front row, and I've got a Canadian flag, and I get a thumbs down from Hacksaw Jim Duggan with the flag. So I think I was one of the first people to get the thumbs down from the babyface Hacksaw, but he actually played himself because he turned heel and went into Team Canada. But I had nothing to do with that officially. I'm just saying he's a hypocrite for giving me a thumbs down, and then he literally joined up with them, whereas I was just trolling the USA fan chanters with a Canadian flag.
I don't know what the routine with Dutch was. Again,
dude, his worst nightmare should have been that, like, his kid basically killed that one guy, like, in that crazy car accident. That was nuts.
As you pointed out, we're looking through a wall of flesh between us and...
No, I'm not Canadian. I took the Canadian flag because at wrestling events at that time, like anybody that was from a foreign country, they would chant USA at. So I took the Canadian flag like as a troll to troll the other fans, and it upset Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
The ring.
On the same show, there's a moment where this might narrow it down. I think it was during the era where Big Show was smoking. Do you remember that? Just randomly, he started walking down to the ring smoking. I think that was that era, but anyway, he turned around to the crowd during like a tag match, and somebody flicked a cigarette up at him, and it like bounced off his chest. So that might help dial it down a little bit.
We have to pick it up mostly off the monitor, what we're looking at.
Paul Diamond with a good slam. Fargo moves out of the way. Diamond came down hard on his elbow.
And if you remember at the time, I was going to both WWF and WCW. So at the time, Owen Hart over in WWF was always saying like, "All right, Canada," like screeching it and like as his like taunt to the crowd. So like if you could time it right too during a show and you said that, you could get like a big section of the crowd to boo you. I went to a show one time, and it was during it had to have been during the Attitude Era because it was during the Nation of Domination when The Rock was in it. And I stood up on my chair and I put my fist up for like the Black Power during the Nation of Domination salute. And this redneck behind me kicked my chair out from underneath of me and like got really pissed off.
On the Hunter.
Whoa. Diamond making good use of the right hand. Over to the corner and the tag on the other half of the Canadian Connection with a drop kick.
Never seen.
Oh, the Showboat was the AWA stuff, right? Yeah, for real. Yeah. I was an asshole though. Like at the beginning of the shows back then, I don't know if they still do this because it's been a while since I've been to a show, but they used to play the national anthem, and I refused to take my hat off, and like literally people would throw stuff or come over, and I was only a teenager. People would throw stuff, or they would come over and like tell me they were gonna like beat me up in the parking lot if I didn't show respect and take my hat off, and I was like, my grandfather fought in the war so that I could wear a hat when I wanted to, and like that pissed them off even more.
Ceases to amaze me, Dave.
Still amazing. Hunter held down for the count of 2. Hunter showing some power there. But Joe LeDuc.
You think Brett is better than Owen, or am I reading that right? I don't think that's an unpopular opinion.
Came right back after him. Big lumberjack bear hug by LeDuc.
Hunter is a powerful guy. He's no 6'7" but he is sure powerful. Boy, he's got a big
He's no 6 foot with a 7-incher, Lance Russell says.
upper body. And the Dutchman who knows how to do it all.
Oh, I could see that too. It just if you're like I think Owen is definitely better if you factor in everything, because I don't really think Brett was that good on promo, and I don't think he was really that charismatic. But like I don't know, purely in ring, I would probably put Brett a little bit ahead, but I think Owen is like a much better like character. But I like bitter Brett. I think that works really well.
And a little more, too. Here's the tag on Baron Braun Bronner.
Oh, I knew I was doing it on purpose. I knew that it would make him mad. I was just fucking with him. I was a troll. But back then you couldn't really troll a lot of people online because people weren't really doing that much interesting stuff online. So you had to troll people in real life.
Tag on Joe.
Yeah, anti-American Bret Hart. I do like, yeah, the bitter Bret.
And the big lumberjack.
And I think Bret Hart in WCW, while people can be disappointed about whatever, it was so wacky. Like you never knew what he was gonna what he was going to be involved. He had like that crazy storyline where he put the metal thing in his pants so that when Goldberg tackled him, it would like knock him out. I think that it was a goofy, maybe not what people wanted, but I think looking back, it's just so like, it's such a carnival run for Bret Hart.
Oh, good night. They mashed him and tag Dutch. This could be it right here, Dave. Yeah, boy.
You think that he could see, that Macho Man could see the lust in Hulk Hogan's eyes?
That's it.
4 minutes, 35 seconds, your time on it. And this 8-man tag team match goes to the team of Joe LeDuc, Paul Diamond, Dutch Mantel, and Jeff Jarrett. As Baron Von Bronner finds himself pinned in there.
And I knew when Joe hit him, he caught him with all of it, too. And that was going to be all she wrote. He made the tag on the Dutchman. The Dutchman gets the pin. And Joe LeDuc, a Canadian connection, yeah. Saw you last week with your debut victory right here, Joe. And it looks like, Paul, you and Joe got quite a team going.
Well, we sure.
Joe LeDuc's like, hey, listen, Paul Diamond, I will not judge you for being a former drug addict. I'm not like Lance Russell. I won't point it out every time I speak about you.
You know, Joe asked me to do this, and I'd be more than glad to be his partner. I think we're going to have a great success, and I'm looking forward to being his partner for a long, long time.
Also, Paul, do you have any pills?
You guys worked well together in that 8-man, Joe.
Yeah, well, today's the day. Paul, come on, son.
What in the world?
Today we're going to make you like a real Canadian, a lumberjack. We're going to...
Whoa, 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 whoa. Where is this storyline going here? Holy bananas. Do I take requests on content? I'd be down for a lot of stuff as long as it's not like something that would get the stream taken down. Titles, what made you subscribe? Josie Lassard.
You got a extension cord here, Lance Russell?
Yeah, we got an extension cord, Bob. What is this, Joe? Huh?
You got a chair on in that chair.
What a weird turn of events that was. Grabbing him by the trunks and then doing the like awkward like, hey buddy, hair rub.
Yeah.
Joe,
But if you're new, just so you know, I don't only do wrestling stuff, but I do consistently do wrestling stuff. And I understand if you don't want to be here for the trad girl psychopath content or the Boit watch or that kind of stuff. I totally get it.
So you're going to have identical haircuts, huh?
Yeah, I tell you,
He's like, hey, listen, I really like this guy. I think he's wonderful. I just met him. I've grabbed him very close to his package. I've rubbed all over his hair. Now I'm going to take all the hair off of his body. What a what a segment.
Barber.
You're a barber. Here's a chair.
This feels like a Keemstar punishment.
Okay. You know, all the French Canadians, everybody that comes to this television, French Canadian, you gotta have a short haircut, you know, just like in the
I'll be right back. My cat knocked something over.
Navy. You know, it's gotta be clean cut. So, come on, Paul, sit down.
Wait a minute.
Sit down.
I think Joe wants to change the appearance of the team here a little, Paul.
Well, I know he was talking about it. I understand, you know, him wanting to wear the lumberjack clothes and everything, but I didn't know you were serious about this, man. What difference will it make if I have long hair or short hair?
What difference?
Well, unfortunately, on looking at my channel, I was recently struck by a foot fetish model. Copyright struck my channel. And so I had to take down a lot of my content, and it's slowly going back up again. But like the stuff you might not like is the stuff that's not currently available.
When I go in the ring and my opponent, they look at me right away, they're not sure.
How did he get what? What happened in the match that he was bleeding? I must have missed that.
If they're going to win, because I got a face, you know, you got to look at. So it's going to be the same thing with you. You look at those sissy hair, you know, they look at you and already they think they can win because you're a nice boy. I'm going to show you how to be a champion, how to make some main event money, be a champion. Sit down.
Joe, you're gonna fix up his hair, take it right on off, huh?
No big deal. I'm just going to cut his hair a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just gonna cut a little. Paul, I believe this is it.
If you cut my hair, I'm going to look like an idiot. It may be fine for you, but, you know, I don't want to look like that. I can wrestle, I can hold up my end of the team.
But, yeah, but Paul, I try to make you to my...
King TL's been silent in the chat for an hour, but as soon as there was some head shaving fetish content, he's right. He's alive again.
My image.
I think the point is, Joe, he's saying if he has short hair, it's not going to affect his wrestling. I think that's what he's trying to...
I think it's going to affect your wrestling career, and it's going to affect you in order to win a match or lose a match.
Well, come on. I guess...
Joe LeDuc was the original Sam Hyde. He's like, no, listen, bro, I'm telling you, if you want the people to like you, you should shave your head. I'm just saying, you do what you want to do. Do whatever you want to do. But the people, shaved head.
I guess this is decision time right here as Joe LeDuc gets the clippers out, and he's ready to go on.
Have I seen WWC 1980? Is that the Puerto Rican promotion? If so, no, I haven't. That's another territory I do want to get more into, though.
Hold on. You know, when you came to me and you wanted to be Canadian Connection, that was great. And I want to be a partner. But if it takes for me to cut my hair and look like a bumbling idiot...
Oh, we talked about...
Are we getting a heel turn from former drug addict Paul Diamond? Holy shit. He's like, I'm not going to have a bald head and look like a fool.
When we come from Nashville, Tennessee last week, you said, okay, Joe, you make me look like you. You make me look
Imagine taking advice from this guy.
Like a champion. That's what I want to make you look like. A champion. Everybody else, they want you to look like a champion. Ask everybody, right? Yeah? You want us to look like a champion?
I don't think everybody...
A loser grows hair match? That could be interesting.
Sit down.
I don't think they want his hair cut off, Joe.
Yeah, they're screaming. They wanted to.
Yeah. Okay. Well, say goodbye, Paul.
No, wait a minute. Hey, you asked me to be a partner, but if...
Okay, so the crowd is behind... Am I misinterpreting this? It seems like the crowd is still behind former drug addict Paul Diamond. So maybe we're going to get a Joe LeDuc heel turn after the kind of vague grooming he did earlier, and then attempted literal grooming. Maybe he's going to, like, force the hair cutting or something.
If this is what it takes to be a partner, I would rather say, no, thank you, Joe. I appreciate your offer.
Yeah, I mean, if he wants to be a champion, like...
And I hope we can still remain friends, but I don't want my hair cut. Not today, not any other day. I'm sorry. I hope it had to work out this way, but, you know, I just want to be friends.
Well,
walk away from this. Hopefully, you know, we'll...
I think it's better now.
Overweight Keemstar.
Now on the front end of it than it would be later on that you get this straight, because Joe LeDuc has one idea. Joe!
Oh, yeah.
LeDuc took out after Paul.
He's gonna relapse.
Diamond. Well, you know, Joe, he's a little weird at times. Slams his head in to the ring post, and Diamond dropped down on the floor. LeDuc.
Real Pearl Harbor job by Joe LeDuc.
Just bashed his head on the ring post. Joe, hey, come on, Joe. You busted the guy's head open for crying out loud.
I tell you, I'm a barber. I'm on his shoulder.
Hey, he said he didn't want his hair.
Vince McMahon is watching this, and he's like, I saw something on Memphis TV. I saw a guy cut some hair. What's Hogan's friend doing? What's Brutus doing?
What are you doing out here? Come on, give me that microphone. Let me do. Boys, go guard the door. Spike and Basher, guard the door. Look at this. Lance Russell, shut up. Look at this. Look at this. Joe LeDuc showing his natural instinct. Look at this. This is the greatest thing that's happened on championship wrestling in many, many months. Look at this. Look at this. Paul Diamond's getting what he deserved. He's been a fruit.
Oh, what a surprise. The crooked police are holding the doors closed.
For months. Now we're getting him back. Look at this. Joe LeDuc showing his natural Canadian colors. Good, Joe. Good, Joe. Yeah. Yeah. This is great.
If you like Lance Russell, I did a live stream. It'll be public again. I just got to put stuff back up again. But I did a review of like a bunch of episodes of the Jerry Lawler show from Memphis. There's a just fantastic interview where Jerry Lawler interviews Lance Russell, and they're like sitting out in a park. It's like such a like, it feels like modern day like IRL content. It was really cool.
Great. This is great, Joe. This is great. This is the best thing that's happened on championship wrestling in an awful long time. Paul Diamond. Exactly. The Mod Squad's keeping those geeks out. So Joe.
Brutus is doing all the fucking Vice stuff, Dark Side of the Ring and all that. Tales from the Terror. I think he did a Tales from the Terror. Maybe not. He did something else with them, I feel like. Or he was in multiple Dark Side of the Rings lately. His wife is like trying to start drama with a bunch of people so they can get more like shoot interviews or podcast appearances or whatever.
Joe LeDuc can do his job. Joe LeDuc's doing it. Looking good, Joe. Looking good. Look, a true lumberjack. A true lumberjack, Lance Russell. Look at this.
3 hours later.
Keep that door shut, Spike and Basher. Keep them out of there. You're doing good.
Wow, did you see that golden tiger suit? That's amazing. He looks like a villain in a Bruce Lee movie.
You're doing good. Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest thing in many months.
Oh my God, folks. Former drug addict Paul Diamond having his head shorn. Certainly not what someone in his fragile mental condition needs. Anyway, have you thought about buying the Jerry Lawler highlight video?
He barely... That is terrible.
Vince went to Brutus with the idea, and Brutus was like, okay, I'm in, man, but listen, we can't have a repeat with the buzzers, man. You got to let me come down with hedge trimmers. And Vince is like, yeah.
Terrible, Joe. Come on now. Hey, that's enough. Now, enough is enough. Leave the kid alone.
No.
This is too much. It's gone on way too long for I know King wants it to keep going just a little bit longer, but it seems pretty excessive.
It looks good now. Real good.
You're just butchering his hair.
No.
You just take a look at it. You got chunks of it all out of there. He said he didn't want his hair cut.
He don't know what he wants.
I know. I don't know if he's trying to like convince people that he is, or the fans, or whatever, but it's taken so long.
Oh, you're gonna tell him what he wants, huh?
Do it, Joe. Come on, cut his hair. Cut his hair. Do it.
Oh, that's sickening. Eddie! Now they got 4 more guys holding the door.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I just had the worst thought. I thought that for a second, Rip Rogers from behind, I thought was 80s NWA manager Baby Doll.
Marlin has anything to do with. This is true justice of Canada and the
I was like, what's Baby Doll doing here?
United States.
Yeah, he's going to have something to do with it, with you and everybody else that's participating in this.
Paul Diamond's getting what he deserved. He's asked for this. He's getting it.
He asked for him not to do it. He
This is how I felt when Grace made that turtle smoke a cigarette.
did not want his hair cut.
Paul Diamond is a traitor. He's been a traitor ever since he's been here. He'll be a traitor until he leaves. Joe LeDuc, a real man. A real man.
Yeah, that's fine. Joe, I've seen you a lot of...
Yeah, like what happened? Is he dead? How is he not woke up from whatever happened to him?
Do a lot of goofy things, but taking a kid like this who said he didn't want his hair cut, and he was just...
He should make Lance Russell hold a mirror up, and then they'll wake up former drug addict Paul what's his name? Paul Diamond.
Being honest to tell you, he just won't get it straight on the front end.
Joe should have been a barber. That looks beautiful, Lance Russell.
Yeah. Can't we get anybody in through here?
Where are the Beach Boys?
Boy, they're hanging on that door over there. It's coming out. All right, watch it.
Yeah, he has that same energy for sure as the Vachons.
He's got some scissors in his hand. Stay back. Joe!
Former drug addict Paul Diamond is just dead. Look at the pool of blood on the floor. Did he shit himself? Oh my God! The humanity.
Watch him. Getting back, his head, as you can see, is busted open where he hit.
Folks, if you ever find yourself in a hair versus hair match, you'll want to get a hold of Manscaped. Use code Lance Russell to save 10%.
Rammed him into that ring post. There goes Leduc after butchering the kid's hair. That's terrible. We're going to take time out. We'll be back in just a moment. It really makes you hot when you see somebody do something.
And now the wacky music being played over his lifeless body being carried out.
Billy Travis and David Haskins in the ring, being joined there by the Mod Squad. Spike and Basher for a one-fall match. 10 minutes will be the time limit. J.D. Costello in the corner of the Mod.
Well, at least the first time he was here in '86, he ended the interview by cutting his face up, like cutting a bunch of big grooves in his face with an axe, like live standing next to Lance Russell.
Mod Squad. He has the...
Oh, no, it was his arm. He was carving his arm up.
The Southern Tag Team titles across his shoulder now, and the Mod Squad rule book in hand.
Sorry, the cat jumped up on the desk.
You got it. Bell time, and Billy Travis starting out against Basher. Normally it's Spike, I think, that starts in there, but Basher starting out this trip as Travis and Haskins are the opponent for the Mod Squad.
Russell, right now, Spike and Basher.
Whatever happened to Frank Morrell? Remember that weird guy? That was grooming Billy Travis. Whatever happened to that guy?
I'm gonna have some fun. This is a tone-up match. We do this on television just for some fun, just to show the fans how great we are.
Yeah, well, I tell you, if you're figuring having any fun at the expense of Billy Travis and David Haskins.
How's it going, Joe Nash?
I think you may be underestimating him.
Lance Russell, talent always tells. We are the perfect tag team to rule professional wrestling. I wonder why this promotion company doesn't ever find a...
Pretty good recovery. I mean, he got it. They didn't have to, reset or anything. He caught it pretty nice.
The opponents that are equal to the ability of Spike and Basher and J.D. Costello.
Well... Travis and Haskins doing well at the moment as Spike is in there.
You know what? This guy doesn't know the difference between a wrist watch and a wrist hold. Look at him. Look at him. He's pathetic. He's not fit to lace our boots.
Basher back in, ripping away with a right hand as the referee gets on him about pulling hair and using the fist. Haskins powered down to the mat.
You're looking at the king of tag team wrestling right here. This is precision clockwork. Doing what we do best. Cracking skulls and getting rich quick.
cracking skulls and getting rich quick.
Spike takes back over. Haskins trying to reach out and tag Billy Travis. Spike crotches him, fires him up in the air, slams him down, drops with a leg on him. And the Mod Squad, the AWA Southern Tag Champions, having their way right at the moment.
There goes Haskins, thrown through the...
I just think it would be so much fun to be a manager. Like, is my favorite part about being involved would be like shit talking with the fans. Like, I just think that would be so much fun, and being able to do it at like a time when the audiences were like still kind of buying into it and you could still get real heat. I just think that would have been amazing.
Ropes down under the floor. J.D. Costello down there saying, hey, come on, get up, get up. Haskins.
I don't know who used the guitar gimmick first, to be honest.
Now thrown back into the ring where Spike is waiting for him.
They didn't need you out there for any kind of help, JD.
Look at that geek. He slipped. He slipped and fell out of the ring. Look at him. His feet must be wet today.
We did a well, it wasn't complete by any means, but it was like a collection of everything I could find, like video-wise on that feud, and we did a live stream with that. That's actually what led me into doing this. I was just going to cover Andy Kaufman versus Jerry Lawler, and seeing the footage, I was like, wow, I've got to I got to see what this is all about. And then now we're all the way from January into June.
Yeah.
Dan Spivey. Dan Spivey came up in Ruby's chat, I think. It's Me came in and said that, was talking about Dan Spivey was a good wrestler.
Slam down on the studio floor.
Good thing. Do you think? No, we probably won't get an update on Paul Diamond.
Or Billy Travis comes around to try to keep the Mod Squad back away from his partner, David Haskins.
I believe David Haskins would rather wrestle here on the floor than in the mat. Keeps jumping out of the ring, Lance Russell.
Very funny, very funny. We know he's been thrown out of there by the Mod Squad on each occasion. Haskins back in the ring now. And Spike rips him with a right hand.
You know, the Mod Squad's in rare form today. You know, we can either wrestle scientifically or we can brawl. It all depends on our mood. And we're out to beat some butt today.
Big suplex over and down.
We really liked the Andy Kaufman where he was telling the rednecks about soap, and he was like, see this? This is soap, not soap. Soap. Sam Retro brought you here. Thank you, Sam Retro. Waylon Mercy, oh my God. Waylon, what a terrible look Waylon Mercy was.
As David Haskins, a big elbow drops down, and the Mod Squad, they got the leg up on Haskins, and brother, they have not let him loose. They have kept him away from Travis over in the corner.
And he beat up Adrian Adonis.
Haskins continues to be pounded and slammed in the corner.
You know, this guy would really love to win a match, David Haskins. Some things in life just don't happen, Lance Russell. They just don't happen.
The match isn't over with yet. Right at the...
You're right, Randy. He came over, dropped a promo, and left like a seagull.
The moment, the Mod Squad well up on top. Backbreaker, Haskins down in the center. And Basher enters the ring as Spike makes the tag. Basher takes it over, and he stops him before he got over to the corner to make the tag on Billy Travis.
Yeah, because I was trying to figure out what to do because the Mid-South streams kept getting taken down. And so then I was like, oh, yeah, I remember we did the Andy Kaufman thing. And then we ended up doing like the Jerry Lawler show episode where I reviewed like a bunch of episodes of his show. And then we also just watched like a tour of Jerry Lawler's home that was like an hour and a half long. It was like it was such a weird video, but it was also like so good.
Boy, they have really been able to keep Haskins in there a long time.
Sure have.
Billy Travis reaching.
How's it going, Sam?
For the tag, but Haskins just too far away.
Fabulous one still to go here on Championship Wrestling. So by golly, stay right where you are. We'll have Stan and Steve here in the air. And down goes
That one guy couldn't figure out for a second whether he was supposed to be inside the ring or out.
Haskins as a double team with Basher taking the cover. 1, 2, 3. That's going to be it. And in this case, we've said it before, there are times when the best thing that can happen is to have a victory and get it over. They were just punishing David, something terrible. They really severely beating him in there.
Yeah, thank goodness at that point they did go ahead and make the pin instead of stretching it out as they have done at times past. 4 minutes, 33 seconds the time on the victory for the Mod Squad.
More action with the Fabulous Ones in just a moment.
Is this going to be an expiration of time match? That's Lance Russell in the picture.
Well, I told you about the action coming up Wednesday night in Evansville Coliseum, and I got to tell you, I just can't believe all of it. First, I want to get Paul Diamond in here. Paul, you got something going.
No.
I really don't envy having to get in there with Joe LeDuc.
Well, let me tell you something, Joe LeDuc. You keep saying...
What? What's going on with this outfit? Real country?
You're going to make a man out of me by cutting my hair. Well, brother, I was already a man, and a man you're going to be facing that Wednesday night. You know what? Nobody does this to me and gets away with it. And I'll prove that to you Wednesday night.
We'll find that one out when they get together, LeDuc and Paul Diamond. And then, hey, J.D. Costello, Jerry, and Hillbilly was out here. First, he said he's going to do two things. He's going to pick up the giant Hillbilly and body slam him. Then
How come Wings of Redemption won't wear a nice shirt like Uncle Elmer has on? He's always wearing that George Floyd shirt or like some kind of car brand. Why doesn't he get some nice shirts like these? This is definitely Come As You Are.
he's going to get up on the rope and jump down and start knuckling you.
Well, you know what that's called, Lance? That's letting your mouth write some checks that your body can't cash. Let me tell you something, you little stinking, sniveling wimp. That's exactly what you are. You couldn't fight your way out of a wet paper bag. Now, I know what you got in mind. You think you're going to hide behind those two goons up there, and they're going to do all the dirty work for you. Well, it ain't going to work. You're going to have to get in that ring sooner or later, and me and this big man right here are going to do a number on you, J.D. I guarantee you that. Is that right?
That's right, J.D. I'm going to stomp a mud hole in you, boy. Then I'm going to stomp it dry, and if you can slam me, I'll give you $1,000 out of my pig farm.
You hear it right there. You're talking about a...
Wow, so Uncle Elmer... Oh, man, look, we're in for a treat. Look who's up next. Holy shit. So, Stone Cold Steve Austin influenced by Uncle Elmer. He's going to stomp a mud hole in him, and then, well, Uncle Elmer said he was going to stomp it dry, but Stone Cold, he wasn't willing to take that extra step. So he was looking for, he was going to walk it dry, but very similar.
A big handicap match, and then Buddy...
A large man gently massaging Jerry Lawler. Yeah. Here comes channel favorite Buddy Landell.
Landell, Bill Dundee in a barbed wire ring, buddy.
Well, you know, Lance Russell, you either love the Nature Boy or you hate him. Now, either regardless to one of the two, the main thing is that people out there in Evansville respect the Nature Boy. Hell yes, I want a barbed wire match. Maybe it'll cut down on some of the time that I spent chasing him last week, and I can save some energy to knock his teeth out or hit him a little bit harder. Dundee, you all realize now that the Nature Boy is one heck of a man, right or wrong. Hey, the Nature Boy Evansville, I'm taking you out. Barbed wire match, shredded wheat's what I'm talking.
That's not all of it.
Oh, wow. That was a great, walk-off for it. Wow. Nice. A barbed wire match in Evansville? Wow. Shredded wheat's what he's talking about.
I mean, there's a bunch coming up Wednesday night, Evansville Coliseum. I'd get my tickets right now. See you right there.
I don't think we've seen them for a while. I could be wrong, though. I feel like it's been a minute. Let's get all the rats out. Rats off to you.
Oh, yeah! The fabulous one, Stan and
Copyright claim, guaranteed.
And Steve Kern, I can't hardly believe there's any in the wrestling group out there that doesn't know the Fabulous Ones, but just in case, here they are. And boy, we got quite a match lined up for them today, Dave.
We do indeed, and one of those participants, the Strong Machine, under the mask there, was over challenging Steve in a corner even before the match started.
Rat City. Where are we going, man? We're going to Rat City.
They regret
Free hotel rooms.
that. I don't know if he doesn't know the
free meals.
Fabulous Ones or what. We're underway. Strong Machine starting his partner.
I'm not going to say the last one.
Abdul Gaddafi. And starting for the Fabulous Ones, it is Stan Lane.
Look at this character. Wow. Or no, we have the Fabulous Ones. Even I was thinking of the other ones. What's the other blowjob looking team that was there?
Stan. Oh, Strong Machine turns him back onto the ropes there, but Stan comes off of there.
Remember, it was like the blonde-haired guy and then the dark-haired guy. They were in a tag team. I thought it's similar to the Fabulous Ones, the Fantastics. Yeah, that's who I was thinking of at first. I'm now my high brain is catching up now to what reality is.
And takes him down to the mat.
This is the Fabulous Moolah. She's gonna screw over Stan Lane like she did Wendy Richter.
A little reversal. Boy, good move by the Strong Machine. Strong Machine, not that big when compared with either the Fabulous Ones or certainly Gaddafi, who's huge. Gaddafi in there right now. Gaddafi runs into an upper arm. Stan Lane sends him over into the knee of Steve Kern. Tag is made, and Steve Kern comes in for the Fabulous One.
Yeah, Tommy Rogers. What a character. Oh, no. Which one was the goon? Was it? I think it was Fulton was the blonde, right? He was kind of the goon.
They're back. A body slam. Gaddafi having no luck here against first Stan Lane and now Steve Kern. Gaddafi makes the tag. Here's the man under the mask, the Strong Machine. He's on the mat, and Steve Kern letting him have it with a right hand. Bad tag. Stan Lane in control. Minute and a half gone. This one goes to the expiration of time.
Oh, speaking of Rock and Roll Express, they had an interview up on it's on the official AEW YouTube page, but it said it was the wildest interview ever. So I clicked on it, and it wasn't, by the way. It was like a guy who kept talking about canceling them for some reason. But then he asked them if it was true that about if Robert Fuller had the biggest dick in wrestling. And Ricky Morton said, yeah, but the guy wouldn't drop it. And he's like, well, how do you know? And Robert Gibson said that Robert Fuller could tuck it into his knee pad. And the guy was like, fine. Then the guy dropped it.
Stan Lane maintaining.
They bleeped the Rock and Roll Express so many times in that interview. I don't know if it's because they think they're going to get in trouble or whatever, but do they really need to monetize a particular video that bad to bleep out a third of what people say?
The hold on the Strong Machine as he gets back into a corner here now and makes the tag. Steve Kern. Stan and Steve both out of Florida.
You feel better now that you got some altitude? Yeah. I'm hitting I'm starting to hit my peak high. So I'm getting real, I always start mentally booking and stuff like that when I'm watching when I'm really high. And I get conspiratorial.
Big drop. Nice move by Steve. Boy, the Strong.
It was actually a pretty awkward interview. It was kind of like a hipster guy who I don't think he really got. It didn't seem like he really got the fact that I don't think he got their era of wrestling, so the way he approached interviewing them was kind of like just a little bit weird.
Machine thought he was going to put a move on him. Steve just grabbed his...
And then Ricky Morton kept telling like jokes like a grandpa would tell, which, I mean, makes sense. I'm not knocking it, but it was just funny, and like the guy didn't know how to... He really struggled like keeping up in the interview.
Leg dropped him down on the mat.
Like there was this, I don't know if you guys will think this is funny or not, but I did. The guy made a joke, and he was like, you know, be careful, Robert. He'll turn on you again like he did in whatever year whenever Ricky Morton turned heel and joined the York Foundation, right? It was a joke. And Ricky Morton trolled him, and he got really serious, and he's like, no, let me tell you why that really happened. And the guy's like, oh, okay. And he's like, Robert got hurt, and I wasn't going to move on without him. And so I had to have something to do. I had to feed my family. I had to have a job. So I worked with Alexandra York, and I took it because I had to. But the second Robert was back, I was right there in the ring with him. And like the guy didn't know what to do, and I just thought it was such a funny troll to like give him a legitimate, serious answer to like just an off the hand, like or off the cuff joke.
Stan Lane twisting on a toe hold. Yeah, here comes Gaddafi. Without benefit of tag, however, so he is sent back to the corner. And the Fabulous Ones. Did they make a tag or they made a change anyway? It's now Steve Kern working on that left foot, knee, and upper leg of the Strong Machine. Stan Lane back in. Strong Machine did not go to the corner for the...
He definitely, in my opinion, seemed like the kind of guy who like looked down on old wrestling. You know what I mean? Like, he just seemed real dismissive of them. Which I get if you don't like want to, you know, hero worship or whatever. But I mean, like, if you're a wrestling fan, then you're probably aware of them on some level. And he would just seem really dismissive toward them.
The tag, he was kind of inching toward the corner, but not.
And I think that's why they kind of fucked with him a little bit. But it was really good. It was really subtle trolling that he couldn't really get mad about.
Not really making a determined move to get to his partner Gaddafi. Now he turned.
He was like, why don't you cut a promo on me? And Ricky was like, you want me to cut a promo on you? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, why don't you dye your hair? And the guy was like, you go right after the grays.
And gets the tag. And the big Libyan, Abdul Gaddafi, grabs Stan Lane and slams in.
You think Memphis takes the cake? I think my favorite territory is Mid-South, but I've really enjoyed Memphis, especially for the fact that like Mid-South is so stacked with talent. Like the roster is crazy deep. Like Memphis, at least during this era, doesn't have that. Like they're working with a lot of like not top tier talent and putting on like good matches, but more importantly, like putting on good storylines that, you know, I still get invested in them, but definitely the fans at the time were.
There's a cover. Count is 1, 2 is all he can get. Stan Lane breaks out of it at the 2 count. A side kick. Stan has used it well.
Yeah, Smoky Mountain would be way up there. And I think why Smoky Mountain is kind of special too is because it has a beginning and an end. Like it starts with a particular storyline, and when the company ends, it ends when that storyline ends. But then there are like all kinds of storylines. There's like all kinds of storylines within, but it's like you get a definitive beginning and an end instead of just like, oh, here's our first show and then eventually it's the last one. Like everything ties together with Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
Well, Steve Kerr, well, he takes a shot.
I don't know about any Wahoo McDaniel. I'm not against watching it.
That's a Strong Machine while he's over near the corner. Flips him in there, and now all 4 of them are in the ring. Kern put the backdrop on the Strong Machine to take him out of the action. A double clothesline Gaddafi. There's a cover. 1, 2, and the Fabulous One.
Well, and you would think too, it's like the entire federation is built on a feud between Jim Cornette, a manager, like maybe past, you could argue, past his prime at that point, manager, against like a mid-50s semi-retired wrestler. Like that was the main feud of Smoky Mountain, but like it always worked. There were like constant lawsuits, counter lawsuits. There would be like last minute appeals, and there was tons of legal proceedings in Smoky Mountain, I feel like.
Have won it. 4 minutes, 1 second. Teamwork.
Like Cornette would win a legal ruling, and then at the last minute someone would run down and say that they had gotten an injunction and that like he couldn't be at ringside or whatever. I feel like there was a ton of like legal shit in their storylines.
And the victory for Stan and Steve.
Boy, they still got that smooth as oil teamwork, don't they, Davey?
Oh, they certainly have. That's
They
lost
look
the thing, huh?
Man, I got to tell you, they really haven't. Yes, Randy Hales. What do you say, partner?
Hi, Lance, because what happened with
EFD.
Joe LeDuc and Paul Diamond, there's been a change in the card. And
Listen, we had to let Paul Diamond go. He relapsed in the locker room after he awoke.
here's the information right here. Here comes Paul right now.
Okay. Yeah, Paul, how's that?
Those top 10 lists you're talking about, those are like pretty much, when I was a kid, the only really thing I knew about some of those people. Like the big names would get stories in the magazine, but like a lot of the mid-carders wouldn't get like stories where you could read about them. But I would like see names of people, and like I would know what feuds they were in, but like I couldn't actually see them wrestle or, know much about them.
The heads, yeah, that's a little better, yeah.
Let me tell you something, Joe LeDuc. I looked up to you.
Uh-oh.
I thought you were a figure I could look up to, a fellow Canadian. And what did you do to me? You humiliated me on
Chant USA at this guy. What's going on? What they're going to give him a pass?
Nationwide TV. Look at it. You busted my head open. Well, let me tell you something, brother. Come Monday night, I want you that ring so bad. You show up there, and that stupid look on your face, and I'll wipe it off. I'm not afraid of you. You may be crazy, but so I will be too. I want you. And nobody does this to me. Nobody. I'll go to any length at all to beat you. Chairs, tables out in the parking lot. When you're sleeping, you won't rest easy, because I might just be there. Joel Duke, watch out. I'm coming for you.
Paul Diamond, I can tell you one thing. One mad Canadian, one crazy one, one madman. When they get together, it's going to be something else. We'll take time out, and we're going to be back in just a moment.
We got a crazy Canadian and a mad Canadian, and when those two meet up, I don't know what's going to happen. Hey, let's rerun the Stan Lane swapping hands with a bunch of rats footage instead of any of the wrestling.
Well, I guess I could say, Dave,
What a gooner. Whoever's picking the footage on that one was a total gooner.
that things got a little hairy today, but I don't think Paul Diamond would appreciate that. I know I wouldn't appreciate it if I were Paul Diamond and Joe LeDuc did that, cut that hair off.
Weird situation there. They started out as a tag team, and then moments later, Paul didn't want his hair cut for obvious reasons.
And it was smart to say so right off the front end. Hey, let's get it straight right on the front end. That crazy LeDuc slams his head in, gets some clippers and scissors and everything else, and ended up cutting some of the hair. Boy, it was good to see Stan and Steve back.
Yeah, back again. They got a victory today in their match. Also a victory for the Beach Boys. Our first look at them on Championship
It'll be
Wrestling
interesting
today.
to follow.
Yeah, John Stewart and Van Horn. Love the.
Oh, yeah, the apartment wrestling. Yeah. I remember the ads for them, and yeah, that was always another thing that, like, I never really knew what the deal was, so I had to, like, the shit I would imagine was, like, I was picturing in my head that, like, there were two people on a couch with, like, like commentating on the match, and it was just happening in an apartment. Like, I didn't realize it was, like, fetish content.
The names there. And Memphis Vice got a win. Bill Dundee won his single match. LeDuc, Diamond, Mantel, and Jarrett were the winners in the match that occurred before all that.
Rewind, see how old that girl was? You don't want to rewind on the 80s wrestler people.
haircutting went on. And then it was the Mod Squad with J.D. Costello winning their match, and the fabulous one, Stan and Steve, still got it together as they got the victory.
Yeah, I don't take anything away from the Mod Squad, but it was so great to see Stan and Steve right back again. Okay, doke, my friend, we're out of time. We'll be looking for you next week. So let me say, for Dave Brown and Lance Russell, bye-bye, everybody.
All right, I got a few minutes left. I know most of you are here for the wrestling, but I want to watch this. I want to see anybody that wants to hang around to watch a clip with me from Healthy Family Force. I just thought this was such a cool clip, and it was so weird. And I had to share it with you guys. I might do a Boyd watch, a dedicated Boyd watch to it. But I want to see what you guys think. My internet's really slow, so it might take a minute. Let me get that out of here. Foot fetish models' feet stink anyway. Okay, hang on. Gloria defends Joy from weirdos. I can't believe how specific my search is, and it's not bringing it up. Okay, hang on. Healthy Family Force. Oh, okay, here we go. So yeah, so if you don't know, this is Healthy Family Force. I cover some of their stuff. I'm going to be covering more, but I thought this video was just so great, and it's a shorter video. It almost has like a kind of a found footage horror vibe to it, but it's absolutely riveting.
Somebody's here.
Somebody wants to talk
Who's
to
here?
Joy. I don't know.
Who is
the
it?
guy. I don't know. He asked for Joy.
Joy?
Yeah.
Well, it's late. It's Sunday night.
He's over here, honey.
Oh.
Come over here. I don't know who it is. I don't know what he wants. I don't know.
Hello?
Yes, hi.
Hi.
Hello?
Hey, hello, sir.
Who are you?
I'm good.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
How you doing?
Like how wild is this? Rich is filming this guy that's outside of his house, like just some guy that's out there. Like it's just, this vibe is insane to me. It feels like some kind of a weird found footage movie.
I'm good. And your name is?
I'm sorry?
Who are
Joy, I think, is mid-30s.
you?
My name is Michael.
Why are you here?
All right, 1 second. Let me go right to it. Here, sir.
No.
Whoa, she a big homie.
Don't come towards me like that, dude. I don't know who you are.
All right, well, you got to forgive me because...
Just tell me why you're here.
I'm working on it.
Don't tell me what's on the phone. Just tell me why you're here.
I'm about to right now. So, I'm with the Service Employees International Union, and what we'd like to know is, have you voted yet?
That's why you're here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks guys for hanging out. I might do wrestling again tomorrow. I normally only do it like once a week, but I need a chill week, so I might do more wrestling this week than normal.
What?
She wants to know why if Joy's voted.
Oh, jeez. I voted. I went and voted, yes.
Okay,
So,
but are you Joy?
no.
Okay. Well, have you know?
Joy's not here. She's...
Well, she's in the bedroom. She's
Oh,
sleeping.
jeez.
It's late. It's Sunday night.
Yes, sir. It was. Yes, sir. It's 6:51. I know it's late. And what about Lynette or Florette?
Yeah, Annette doesn't vote.
She don't vote because they would like for me to speak to them. And
No,
but I can understand
don't.
you saying they're-
Sound asleep.
yeah,
There's
they're-
nothing to do with voting or anything like that.
I ain't never experienced nothing like this in my life.
I know, isn't it like super? I mean, it's just the whole vibe of this is super creepy. Like, there's no way that guy was there to do that. I don't believe it for a second.
Like, this
Well,
is crazy. I see it on YouTube with the camera.
No, I'm sorry.
And like, Rich is filming it like he's. I don't know if he's doing it intentionally or not, but he's filming it like incredibly, like it's being presented like super theatrically, you know? Like I'm really impressed by this. It's like a little mini masterpiece.
My daughter doesn't vote, okay? She has mental problems, so she doesn't vote.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and so what would you like for me to put on so that, you know, for this?
You don't put anything. I mean, a vote is
I'm just gonna put
personal, and if you want to do it, you could vote, and if you don't want to, you don't have to vote. There's no obligation, so what's going on?
I mean, I can't say for sure, but I mean, if it's staged, it's really well done because this guy he doesn't seem like he's acting. He seems like a weird guy. Maybe he's a really good actor.
I understand that. So I'm just gonna put you on the record for the company that I.
Nuh-uh, Ava sent this guy? No way. Right, Joe? Isn't he filming it like fantastically? Like he's really capturing the vibe perfectly.
Work for, because you know it's a campaign, Democratic campaign. They got us out here canvassing. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Refused.
Really don't appreciate you come over here on Sunday night. Come over here.
Have a great night.
Thank you. Voting to find out if we voted or not. I can't believe it, you know? I never heard of that, Richard. Have you?
No, here's what's happened.
What happened?
Let me explain.
Okay.
There's a new law that they passed.
Oh?
I guess, I just...
You're terrified? Like, yeah, exactly. That's just key. That was great. That was good keynote.
Saw it on the news.
Oh, yeah, what is
I just
it?
saw
That people had to vote.
Maybe people online could explain it to us better.
Okay.
That they now have a way to look up to see if you voted or not.
Oh, well.
So they go online and they say, oh, you voted or you didn't vote.
Does anybody know if that's true? I don't know about that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he was especially like as shifty as he was. If he went to the wrong door, like he would definitely freak somebody out, like set off a ton of red flag alarms.
I voted. I went and voted a couple days Friday.
So I guess they're just checking up on it, but it's kind of late to be doing that.
They wanted to talk to Joy.
Well, and remember, he asked for Joy.
Annette never votes because she mentally ill and she doesn't know what's going on.
They have her name listed as Florinette. It says Florinette.
Florinette? Her name is... Wrong name, Florinette. Okay. Oh my God. I can't believe that. What time is it?
Can you believe that?
It's 7 o'clock. Are you kidding me?
I'll go see what Joy wants to do, but I don't think she wants to talk to the guy.
No.
If you've stuck around from the wrestling, you're about to meet one of my favorite characters on YouTube, the true postmodern Christ-like figure of YouTube, Jedi Joy.
Hey, Joy. Do you want to talk to some guy about why you haven't voted?
No.
Oh.
Are you sure? Should I just send him away?
Yes, I am.
How good is this camera work, Joe Shabatoni? This is like really has A24 like elevated horror vibes. This is such a good video, I think.
Okay, we already did. Gloria chased him off.
Why is this person?
Because you know how that new thing they have.
That's some bullshit.
Well, they have
I'm
this
into your
new.
door.
Do you know have that new thing where they say they can look you up to see if you
that's some
voted?
bullshit, yeah.
They said they wanted to talk to you and Florinette. And Gloria went off on.
Who is Florinette?
On them.
His sister's name is Annette, but they were asking for Florinette.
So I assumed he didn't want to, so I didn't come back here. But did you want to go talk to him? He's still out there. He's like, I've never seen anything like this before. I'm like, dude, it's like
he is dialed in, Joe. Do you see how the force he put in opening that door to get to Joy? Look at Joy's reactions too. She's like, thumbnail.
It's like Sunday night.
Clearly coming from YouTube.
No,
Like this.
he worked for a company.
King, wasn't that a crazy moment when Rich like jerked back and was like, "Don't you come toward me"? That was great. Amazing.
Do you have my phone in your hand?
No, I don't have your phone.
Not the phone, for the TV.
Oh. I just turned it down.
You turn it down, but where is it? I don't know where it is. You had it in your hand, I think. Maybe it's on the floor. You turn it off?
Okay.
Okay, so come on. What time is it right now? What time is it? 7 p.m. Okay, so someone just came over at like 7 p.m. on a Sunday night to come talk to me about voting and talk to Florinette, which is like, we don't know what the heck this is about. I guess Annette must have wrote her name wrong one time or something. I don't know what this Florinette thing is that everyone keeps talking about, but apparently Florinette is registered to vote. However, they saw Annette's name. I'm sure she wrote her name one time wrong. Like she didn't write it wrong. They read it wrong because she writes really sloppy. And
as you can see, Florinette, yeah. Joy is an A-tier yapper. She's a fantastic yapper.
Sure they got Annette to sign up for something sometime.
And her chat, for the most part, the Healthy Family Force chat is like anti-Joy a lot of the time. So I guess she used to like fight with chat a lot. So she's not as super interactive, I don't think, these days as back then. But like people are always kind of like telling Rich to keep Joy off camera and shit. I think Joy's great content.
I mean, I want to register to vote or something, but it's like, so they came to knock on the door, which is super intrusive at 7 p.m. on a Sunday, and the only one to talk to me or Florinette.
I think that could actually have happened. I mean, Rich was willing to box strangers, so he could probably hot box somebody. But I think when he took the step in, that was over the line. That was a crazy moment.
They're from the Democratic Party.
From the Democratic Party. But that's like very intrusive. I do not appreciate someone coming to my door to talk to me and talk about a fake person who doesn't even exist. They need to get their things right.
I want to find out.
See if she would come on my show. Oh, she would. Well, I don't do panels or interviews I don't do live interviews. But yeah, Rich or Joy, I'm sure would, or they would let me come up on their show too. I bet.
They didn't vote.
Well, that's none of their business.
What?
So a guy came and asked me if I voted today and why I didn't vote today, and I don't understand what that was about. I don't even understand what did people vote today. I don't even understand. And here's the thing, like.
No problem, Pentagram Dave.
I don't appreciate this whole new thing where like you can check if people vote or not, and now they can go and knock on people's door and kind of harass them about voting. I don't think that's right. I think that is way too intrusive of people's private lives. So that guy's issue was he should have first established just like right away, I'm here with voter.
See, Joy's not just pointing out the problems here, right? Joy's bringing solutions to the table. She's saying, here's what he should have done.
Registration, because he came in without letting people know late at night in a retirement community. He's gonna scare all the old people. At 7 p.m. is way too late for a retirement community on a Sunday night. He should have right away say, I'm here with voter registration. Instead, he's like, they kept saying, what are you here for? And he's like, wait, let me pull up my phone. It's like voter registration would have been an easy answer right away. Then would have calmed down people.
That is very weird. Even if you were thinking like, you know what, I need to fully explain, you would get it out at first. You'd be like, look, I'm with the Democratic Party. I'm here doing voting polling. Like, he was like hesitant to say that or to say what he was there for. It was pretty shady.
But when a guy comes in like his little safety vest late at night and knocks on the door to old people's homes, he's gonna catch him off guard. So these politicians need to be careful with who they're sending to people's homes, because this guy was really sketchy coming late night. It's already dark here in Vegas, and it's a retirement community. The average bedtime's 4 p.m. here. So 7 p.m. is very late for a retirement community. And the guy...
Is that true? The average bedtime there is 4 p.m.?
Was super sketchy. So like we didn't know what he was here for, and he should have right on his shirt said voters, something. Would be helpful, not just have his safety vest on and scare everybody. And the people they hire a little on the sketch, which makes people uncomfortable when they come late at night, which it's late, 7 p.m. on a Sunday in a retirement community. Most people are already asleep. That's late.
Well, there you go, Jedi Joy. If you're, I would say at some point this week, I do have like a full loaded Jedi Joy, like super deep cuts. But I got to go for today. I'll probably do, oh, wait, let's watch one more Jedi Joy. This one's great. Let me preface this, though. So, do you remember the episode of SpongeBob where, like, it was a lost episode, but then whenever they watched it, it was just him, like, walking down the street doing, like, different kind of wacky poses and, like, walking styles? I'm usually live Monday through Friday. Sometimes I take Wednesdays off, but I have bad internet, and I have foot fetish models that are stalking me. But if you remember that SpongeBob scene where like SpongeBob is just doing wacky like different dances and it has like this kind of catchy wacky music, that's exactly the vibe that this Jedi Joy clip has for me. There's a great transition coming up where she switches to doing push-ups. It's super keen. Silence of the Lambs dance. This to me really is very representative of like Joy's general energy. Like I do see her as kind of a SpongeBob type figure. Like SpongeBob is very like upbeat and optimistic, but he's also like a realist, so he does get kind of depressing sometimes. But like I feel like Joy's got that SpongeBob energy.
Got it.
Here we go. Which, no offense to the queen, but Joy is mogging Grace here. Grace couldn't even, her video, she couldn't even do one push-up. King TL, this is confusing you in ways you're ashamed to say. What's confusing about it?
11.
Look at that smooth transition. Hey Joe, were you in here earlier when I revealed that greatest ally Israel had figured out what my deal was? And that the reason I like Grace and Pearly Things and Vegan Patriot is because they're essentially like Viking women who could raid a village. I mean, Kino, I think it's Kino. But anyway, I've got like a full Jedi Joy deep cuts from like stuff from like years ago that I think is pretty Kino. But anyway, I got to go for today. I'll definitely be on in the morning. But I think I'll probably do wrestling again just because I gotta keep it chill after I want to get like I want to have like a cool down after the foot fetish drama. So thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it.